Hello and welcome. Welcome to Star Wars Saturdays. This is part of the Gauntlet community. We are tabletop role-playing gamers who play online, although there are some physical spaces, but I can't be bothered with that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be on YouTube that easily. I mean, we could be on Vine. We should have Vine game, guys. Oh, wait, that's dead. Okay. The Gauntlet community. We are across the world. In fact, this game is international. Thanks, Pavel. And we are Star Wars Saturdays. We play every Saturday. I've been playing the Star Wars Saturday since December 2017. Michael, returning guest, who was there part of the launch of Star Wars Saturdays. It is one continuous timeline that's ongoing right now, set between like the beginning of Episode 4, A New Hope. Episode 4, the movie Star Wars New Hope, the first Star Wars movie. A little bit after Rogue One, not Rouge One. And we're ongoing with the rise of the Empire. Palpatine is in power. The Republic is broken. The Senate has been dissolved. Aldron's just about to be destroyed. I believe Aldron's, it's on the chopping block in this timeline. And we are playing Rebel Blackbird. So every month we play a different game system, but different new characters, but all part of a tapestry of stories within the canon, although we create our own canon. This is Rebel Blackbird. Lady Blackbird's one of my favorite games. Jesse's also a big fan. Two of us work together to take a game that already is out there, Lady Blackbird, and a hack of it called Jedi Blackbird, and kind of remix it up with a bunch of our own new ideas, and that's what we are playing. Lady Blackbird is normally a one-shot, and we've approached it with the idea of 4 sessions, and I've hit the 3rd session. So interestingly enough, we've spent quite a bit of time at the Roche asteroid field. Roche used to be a couple of planets back in history, perhaps in the old republics. Lots of legends say something happened, and now it is an entire asteroid field with several large asteroids that are habited primarily by Verpine. Verpine are insectoid creatures. They are bipedal, kind of a humanoid look to them, although they're carapace. They wear clothes even though they don't have identifying sexual characteristics. They just wear clothes because it freaks everybody else out, I guess. And in our last session, we had Zudo, the bounty hunter, pursuing a bounty, because that's what he does, over on Nickel 1, which is the capital of Roche, the Roche system. He was trying to chase down Chulo, a Rhodian that they had picked up on Raxus Prime in the first session. As he pursued that, he didn't have the greatest deal of success. I have to say, Chulo, very lucky guy. Most lucky Rhodian I've seen in any Star Wars anything, because he's still alive and got away. And at the same time, we had some altercations that took place on Roche G42, which is where the Blackbird, the ship that they're on, Zudo's ship, in fact, and Sola, Panaka, 52, Kona, Thorn, and also Novar, Frist, our other members of our crew, were all on Roche G42. There were some fights. There was some lightsabers hacking up going on. Everybody rushed back onto the Blackbird, and that's when a big announcement came that the new governor of the Roche system, Imperial governor, had been installed, and he had just arrived. And his flagship was none other than the Imperial Star Destroyer, the Hand of Sorrow, which is captained by a man known as Captain Hollis. He made an announcement to all of the Roche system, over all of the Holonet, letting them know that they are there for their protection, and some of the undesirables may be detained, and don't worry, everything's fine. Ignore the screaming TIE fighters that are coming into your asteroid areas. They're here for your safety. Right? And so we had pair of scenes, we had the wily Outrider, which is a YT-2400 light freighter that Zudo had landed upon and conned his way into becoming. I'm not sure if he's a pilot or just sitting in the turret. We'll figure that out as we get going. And
the wily what again?
The wily Outrider. And in fact, I've added a picture of the wily Outrider. So if you go into the people and places, we have pictures for Ningor, Kron. Ningor is the cyborg. Kron is the transition. And if you look over there around K3 on people and places, you'll see a picture of the Outrider, the YT-2400 freighter that you guys were escaping on. You're trying to escape on Nickel 1, and the Blackbird actually was kind of locked down within this effective space parking garage. But the power of Novar and a really badass Jedi mind trick was able to free you guys, and you were flying up towards the kind of central core, the open space, the hollowed out core of Roche G42, while scores of TIE fighters were streaming in towards you. And that's where we had ended things. But before we jump straight into that action, let's quickly remind ourselves who is our intrepid crew. So 52, player Matt's unable to make it this session. So 52 will be played by me. And I don't think I can pull it off because he is way more chipper than me. But I do have a lot of tea, so I'll do my best, guys. It just means I have to pee a lot. 52, clone trooper, in his 50s. Although since they were clones and they were kind of quick grown, he may be younger than that, but he's been around since the Clone Wars and has seen many a battle. Despite all the horrors that he has seen, he maintains a very upbeat attitude. He also has a strong sense of conscience. We don't know if that's because he's hiding a dark past or if maybe the clone indoctrination just didn't quite take for 52, but he is just an upbeat, kind of lovely person. So let's meet Sola, because he's the bodyguard for Sola. So it just kind of logically makes sense. So Jesse, tell us about Sola Panaka.
Yeah. Sola Panaka is a former senator from Naboo, now on the run with the dissolution of the Senate. She has been trying to make contact with a variety of different contacts, different people who can help provide supplies to the Alliance. So so far been mostly unsuccessful, though finally made contact with someone by the name of Abenta Seco last episode.
That's right. Thank you very much.
I love 52.
I know.
And I'm in love with 52.
In love with 52. Oh my goodness. We'll see how that goes. Next, we have our Jedi Knight, Novar. Please, Pavel, tell us about Novar Friend.
So Novar Friend trained in the old times where the Republic was still a thing before the Order 66. Novar is Kairan, so this is this race with like a very tall forehead. He's like kind of like a greenish skin. He's like getting old by this time as well. He isn't sure if he's the only surviving Jedi or not, but so he took on himself to train other Jedis, and he's been training Kona Thorn, although she's a hard padawan to behave, but yes, he's mourning his losses. He's trying to uphold whatever Jedi code he remembers and the way he remembers it. And he's here to deliver Sola to Naboo because that's where the rebellion needs her most.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And since we know of Novar, we must learn a bit about Kona Thorn. Mark, please tell us about the Padawan, Kona Thorn.
Kona Thorn is a perfect Padawan because she acts on her emotions and frees people as often as possible from the bonds of jail or slavery, which I recently did at the end of the last session. I'm playing a blue Twi'lek young girl and her droid companion R4RL, and I might have a touch of the dark side to me at this point. And you know, I listen to Master's teachings, but my emotions get the better of me. I am passionate, selfish, reckless, and I've really come to bond with 52, and I really hope that we get some sort of one-shot or four-shot comic book series with just the two of us. So,
It's actually a YA novel series that's planned right now.
oh, okay. Well, maybe that'll make it its way into like a cartoon or a movie or something like that.
You know, it's weird though, the whole like Kona 52 shipping thing. I don't know if I'm down for that. He's way too old for Kona.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, let's not go there.
Well, it's not, but it's YA series, so someone on the internet has done that.
Okay.
Yeah. Last but not least, we have the bounty hunter Zuto. Michael, please tell us about Zuto.
Yes, Zuto is a bounty hunter. He is an Otagan, which is similar to Athorians, but he has one mouth instead of the two weird mouths on the side of his head. He is a fellow who kind of grew up in some kind of hard knocks kind of situation of life, and had to take on a somewhat a job most people wouldn't be envious of being a bounty hunter, and he has taken it on as sort of his destiny and his identity, and is currently considering pursuing a bounty for 52, but he's doing a little bit of freelancing for the rebels here, and he is helping them to smuggle the senator, get a little bit of cash on the side. So he's definitely kind of in it for number one, so to speak, but he has a little bit of a soft side as well.
A soft side indeed. Like that soft side that you showed Portola. Exactly. I get you. I'm sure we will see the soft side. Not like the soft inside of a creature that's been sliced open by a lightsaber. That wouldn't be the soft side of you, right?
Not we'll see if we get to the tundra planet. You know?
That tundra planet. Awesome. So again, we had ended with Nickel 1 and Roche G42, which we differentiate not only by the little name on the bottom left hand of the screen as each of them are shown, but different color palettes, more of a ruddy tan and orange in Roche G42, and on Nickel 1, surprise, surprise, lots of grays and some blues. Not a whole lot of sepia tones because, everybody else does that. So we have the twin shots of the wily Outrider and the Blackbird both heading up, and TIE fighters kind of splitting out, because at this point they haven't started firing on you, but it's pretty obvious that they are coming in to secure this place, take firm hold of all of the Verpine territory here in the Roche asteroid system. So we will pick up with the Blackbird. Novar, you've jumped off of that little hollow disc into the Blackbird. You guys scream off. We have For Real is piloting. Just that's the greatest thing. You have a little astromech droid piloting the thing. It does like this little kind of half gainer turn and splits like 10, like of an entire squadron of TIE fighters. They scream around on either side. So what is it that Novar is doing once you get aboard?
Yeah, I think that Novar is on his way to the cockpit, as he's probably passing the kitchen. He sees that the two Twi'lek new crew members, and he just, wait, what are you doing here?
You have one blue Twi'lek, very attractive woman and scantily dressed, and she's picking up a bunch of vegetables, spados, that had been spat out by our Friel before he went to pilot, and she's trying to stuff everything back in the galley. The red Twi'lek girl, she's got a Verpine pistol that looks called a scattergun, and she looks around. She says, "Hey, do you have a turret?"
Yeah, we got a couple of turrets, but I asked, why are you here?
Yeah, we're escaping, just like you.
Oh. Yeah, I think Novar doesn't answer her. He just like goes to the cockpit to meet with Kona and to take a look outside. So yeah, he like walks into the cockpit, just takes a look at the scanner, trying to assess. So I think there are there only two of our ships are escaping, or there are more ships that escape?
Great question. There are a large number of ships. A lot of people are trying to get the hell out of Dodge. The cops are coming, the party's over, and everyone's trying to just get out. Is currently, like, you guys are about to head through the screen. Remember that the interior of Roche G42 has its own atmosphere, and that's because there's a large, completely transparent, electrified screen that kind of holds in the atmosphere, and you're about to pop through that and come out into space itself.
Is this like broken asteroid something Roche 5 in this like whatever? Because there was this broken asteroid. Roche
yes.
5
so as you guys came into the Roche asteroid system, you passed by Sola and Kos, and you got those memories of what was once a Jedi temple on the broken asteroid. Yes, and that's not far from here.
Yeah, but is this asteroid like also inside this like gravity field? However you describe it.
I see. No, it's within the asteroid field itself, but it's not within Roche G42. Roche G42 is just one singular asteroid that's been hollowed out, and then they built a kind of a small city inside.
Cool. So yeah, we see Novar coming to cockpit. Like, takes a look at the scanner. Okay, TIE fighters coming in. A few ships escaping. Kona, we are not heading out of the system yet. I need you to lose the tail, and you and I will need to visit Roche 5. You see this little broken asteroid over there? If you can, like, hide beside it. You and I have some place to visit.
But aren't we supposed to get with Zudo? I mean, we have to pick him up.
Right now, I have no idea where Zuto is. I'm pretty sure he can take care of himself. And this is like really important for both of us.
Oh, okay. So is it just the three of us in the cockpit, Rich?
Great question. I'm curious where Sola is right now. 52 is on board with Sola. I imagine he's giving her the update and so the Twi'leks came with us. We offered them safe passage. I know it's going to cause a great deal of trouble once we get into the core worlds, but I think that there are some places we can hide them on board.
Well, it certainly complicates things, doesn't it?
Yes.
Do we? So right now we're feeling like we're in. Are we like actively being pursued, or are we just?
Well, I'm like kind of imagining that this update is like the calm in the middle of the storm, because at the time that he's sharing that information, maybe we have a viewport outside from your quarters, and you see a couple of TIE fighters scream by as the Blackbird heads out into space, and you see that there are a couple of interdictor class Star Destroyers, and yeah, there is also, as you would know, General, well, 52 can impart this information. He glances out. Interdictors, they have gravity well generators. There's no way we're hitting hyperspace right now.
Well, then I think our best course of action is just to stay well hidden, hide in plain sight as much as possible.
Well, let's hope that Zudo's false idents are good enough to get us out of here. We could just claim that we were trying to leave on time.
I wonder, maybe in that case, like what I would be doing is like heading to, I don't know if the comms is probably also in the cockpit, I would assume. But I don't know that I necessarily have to interact with, I would go wherever I can go to like manage the radio effectively. Like if we need to fake our identity again or pretend to be someone else or whatever else.
I think that's great. You can easily, I imagine you can access comms. And yeah, they're definitely trying to hail you.
Okay.
Unknown ship, you are not authorized to be in space at this time. Please respond. This is our 4th attempt. Please respond before we are forced to blow you out of the sky.
I think I quick hop on then, and I'm like, yes, sorry, we in the chaos of the governor's arrival, we unfortunately missed your call, so I'm sorry about that. This is, I don't know, what would be like a good ship that I could pretend to be?
A good ship you could pretend to be? Yeah, so I'm sure, let's ask Zudo. Do you have false idents, or since you're a bounty hunter, like you're up on the bounty hunter network and authorized there, should they?
So this is a militarized vessel. This was originally a cruiser that's normally used for diplomats. So I think this could either be a diplomatic vessel, but that might be tricky to get idents for. So maybe it's more like a merchant or mercantile kind of vessel, you know, something that like a higher ranking corporate dude would travel in.
Is at this point, is the Blackbird legit?
As far as the vessel itself, I think Zuto may have got it legally authorized as a bounty hunting vessel, but he's probably running false idents now just to try to keep that, you know, off the trail of anybody trying to find them.
Cool. Okay. So we could say,
because I think that maybe like a bounty hunting vessel is always like fit for search and seizure or something, right? Like they always have justification to go on a bounty hunter vehicle, but I don't know. This is the Empire. I guess they have justification whatever they want. So, yeah, I don't know. Probably this is like a mercantile vessel right now, or like.
Well, we are legitimately shipping some things, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Zuto would prefer if you didn't tell them about that, but
what, you don't want to tell them about the Larmal Stone? Come on.
Larmal Stone.
Yeah. I think that before you answer, because I assume Sola, you came to the cockpit to manage.
Sure,
the comms,
let's just say that.
Yeah, we'll say yeah. I think that's good.
Yes, you definitely heard on coming here the conversation that Nova had with Kona, and just before you like answer, Nova like mutes the comms for a moment and just says to you, whatever you tell them, Sola, we need to stay in the system for a couple more hours. Me and Kona, we need to visit this broken asteroid. Just needs, I don't know, an hour or two, but whatever you say, just make it so.
I mean, it seems like that's actually probably the best case scenario. Like if there are gravity wells here and we can't get very far anyways, we might as well hide out in a place that's probably not going to be heavily visited while they occupy themselves on the planet itself. So I think that's good. That's fine, but we need to come up with a plan. So are we just providing transport to? So this asteroid, is there anything that happens here? Like, is there mining or anything? Like, could we be a transport?
Yeah, I don't think Novar knows it, so he just like quickly like opened the codex, a space codex, and just like searches if there is anything going on, because we know that there was a Jedi temple on this. At least Novar knows that there was a Jedi temple on this broken asteroid. I'm not sure if this is being used, so he like quickly opens space codex and just like browses if there's any industry over there.
Oh, cool. So what has happened? The Sola Kos is now uninhabited, and while it is mineral rich, it's kind of like, I'm not communicating with words, so let me try again. It's uninhabited. It's, oh God, I'm trying to think of like some kind of analogy. Sorry, my brain's not completely firing, but
is it like a ghost town or something?
Yeah, it's like a ghost town. Like in respect to all of the loss of people, it's just no one at this point. No one's authorized to actually set up an establishment there. But yes, in the Wikipedia, we might even call it, you're able to find the Sola Kos. There are several mining companies that have talked about encroaching and setting up new establishments to mine, but there's just like the memory of the loss here, because there are literally hundreds and hundreds of people that died on that explosion during Order 66. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Sorry, I don't know why I'm having trouble with words. There, that is the answer you get from Wikipedia.
Yeah. So we see Solar like manipulates it, opens up, like enhance the description. We can say that we are the company Akmar Brothers. They're just delivering cargo to their like construction site being right now built.
Perfect. So I think I just hop on the comms and I say, yes, sorry about that. We missed your earlier messages, and we're part of a transport that is with the Akmar Brothers that is doing some surveying of possible mining opportunities in this region.
All right, hold on just a second here. I'm going to need you to get me 3 successes on this challenge. We have definitely established that Novar is helping. So if Novar wants to kick you a helping die from his pool, he can.
Yeah, of course.
I'll throw you one from my pool as well, just my contribution with the idents. And
nice. Yeah. That's good. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll help by not speaking.
Okay, so that's probably.
What can I do? What can I do? Be quiet. Okay, here's a helping die.
Okay, so I'm going to use, I have this reform scoundrel trait. So 1 for trying, 1 for scoundrel. Smuggle? I don't know. We're trying to smuggle ourselves over there.
I buy it. You're literally trying to smuggle yourselves the hell off of this place, yeah.
Yeah. Disguise, we're pretending to be someone else. Secrets, because we're not telling them what we actually know. And sneak, so that's 6.
I don't buy sneak, but the others I get.
Okay, so 5. Plus I got 2 dice there.
2 helping, yep.
And I need 3.
Yep, you need 3 successes.
Okay, so I'm gonna just try with that without any pool.
Okay. Oh! Oh my goodness, that is one success.
That's pretty terrible.
Oh, that's awesome. And
okay.
You're not using grace, dexterity, or quick reflexes. I'm sorry.
No. But I do have Secret of the Long Game.
Yes!
So once per reflex, after I fail a roll, say how you meant to fail it and what advantage the apparent failure gives you. So I think my hope was actually that we would make them question what we were doing and maybe pursue us, to keep them off of Zudo's trail, so he can come up with some sort of a plan in the background.
Nice, nice, cool. So you hear Akmar brothers. I don't see them authorized for any mining within the Imperial database. I'm sorry, we're going to need to detain you, and please don't resist, because I will authorize the TIE Squadron Delta Gamma to fire upon you. And then we have, coming from the Hand of Sorrow, this like screaming thing of TIE fighters after you guys as you bank left, and R for real starts doing a bunch of crazy donuts, or not donuts, but basically twisting in air and heading towards Sola and Kos. Let's cut to Zuto. So Zuto, were you piloting? Like I got myself confused, and even when I rewatched the YouTube, I feel like I bounced between both. Are you hopping into the cockpit, or are you hopping into a turret to help out as the Outrider gets the heck out of Dodge?
Sure. So I'm pretty sure. So right now, Krod is the captain, and she's piloting. And Nengor is on one of the turrets, and they actually have two turrets on this vehicle.
Yes.
On the ship. So I think that maybe they don't always have an opportunity to have both of them manned. So they threw me on one of the turrets.
Awesome. That's what I was thinking maybe, but I got confused and just want to make sure. Awesome. Yep. So as we take a look at the Outrider, I imagine that the piloting is on the far right-hand side in that one kind of cylindrical piece, and that the turrets are pop-out turrets on the top and bottom of the main disc. Does that make sense? It's a whole lot of hand gesturing, but I want to make sure we're clear.
Yep.
Cool. So are you on the belly turret, or are you up on the top? Which one did you take?
I think for the purposes of the shot, I'm at the top one.
That sounds awesome. And we'll go with the old, like there's a couple of shafts, right? So you can kind of call down, and Nengor, who, if you remember, is a clone. He's like an ex-clone trooper who's just been cybered up like crazy. So he has like a complete cyber replacement of the upper portion, like quarter of his face, you know, little red eye, very Terminator-like. But everything from like mouth on, we just save money. We have the same actor that's playing 52. He gets to show his breadth, you know, as his acting acumen and skill. A bunch of pit droids, you guys remember, are here, but they've all been popped down. So you guys come out of Nickel 1, and you come into space, and you've already got 4 TIE fighters, and they are tracking you. And that's when you hear Kron call out again. Remember, Kron is female only from the voice actor, because there are not like secondary sexual characteristics that identify a transition. She says, guys, they've got gravity well generators. We are going to need to get into the asteroid field before we can get the heck out of here. So get those guys off my tail.
Are you authorizing lethal force, Captain?
I'm sure. That sounds great. I'm authorizing. Hey, he asks for orders, Nengor. I like this guy.
Well, I try to be polite. Once we get to know each other, I'm sure I'll have a little bit more room to spread my wings.
Awesome. So I'm imagining that the upper turret's one of those things where you're sitting in a chair that's actually hooked to a small device that is slaved to the quad lasers that are outside. And so you can kind of zip around, and it's like a full bubble. So you can kind of head around, almost flipping around all kinds of different angles. Like the firing arc is extremely wide. You've got 3 TIE fighters that are trying to sight you guys in. The same time, Nengor is trying to fire back at them. There are other ships that are trying to fire their way out. So there's a small battle that's happening around Nickel 1. It seems like they don't like the governor. So let's say that fighting your way free, first of all, I will give you a slightly lower difficulty because it turns out the Sola Panaka has pulled away with her clever disguise. No, she's made it easier on you to get out of here. So normally I would set this difficulty as probably like a challenging difficulty to be able to fight your way towards the asteroid field. But as a result of what Sola has done, there are only 3 TIE fighters that are currently on your tail right now. So I'm going to drop it down to a difficult rating.
Sounds good. So I think that typically Zuto spends more time behind the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
But he still has his pilot trait. So I'll do that with pilot. I see battle, alert,
Definitely.
steady.
Definitely.
I don't know if this is fully daring or not. I mean, well, taking fire.
I'll go with daring because you definitely aren't maneuvering or navigating. But I think you've been pretty daring right now by actually firing on these guys when you are outnumbered like 100-1 overall. You're just lucky enough there are a bunch of other rats trying to escape this ship.
Yes. So this is a difficulty 4 for challenging.
You also get 1 die for trying.
You get 1 to, yeah. Thank you very much, Mark. And it's a difficulty of 3. Sorry.
Okay.
3 is difficult, 4 is challenging. I set a difficult I set a obstacle level of 3. I'm sorry, got old gamer brain, and I want to call everything a difficulty, but one of the obstacle levels is called difficult, so it's super confusing. You need 3 successes.
Okay. That's good enough for me. I think I'll roll those 6 and see what we get. Oh, another single success.
Are you sure? Like those aren't the same dice?
I
Because
cleared
that was
mine
the exact
out,
pattern
so,
of like
you know.
3 blank and 1 and then 2 blank.
I'm cursed. Unfortunately, I am not dealing with local customs, so I cannot re-roll this die.
It's just the worst. You guys are terrible escapists. I love it.
It isn't a local custom to run away from the Empire. I'm pretty sure it is.
It's becoming a custom because the Empire's so new. You know, it's like, hey, we should this should be a thing.
Like the Hardy Boys or something, right? Or the Dukes of Hazzard.
That's awesome. Okay, so you try to sight in a couple of the TIE fighters, and they're firing on you. Bam! You feel the ship's rocked. The Outrider is rocked by several shots. Kron screams out, "We've lost shields! You guys suck! Come on!" And Dinkors, he calls out, "Oh, got one!" And there's an explosion behind you. And the explosion of the TIE fighter, you see one of the panels of the TIE fighter like flip through the air. The centrifugal force and the lack of any kind of gravitational pull to slow it down, it smacks right on top of the ship and cracks. You can see this crack start to form on the bubble part of your turret. What do you do?
I cut away.
Awesome. So we'll cut away from you. Awesome.
Yes.
So there is a squadron. The Gamma Delta squadron is being sent after you guys. Our for real says he blurps and whirs and says, we are the worst at this. Kono, we're never going to get out of here.
And that's the droid talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I've heard tales of Jedi using the Force to navigate out of difficult situations in space, right?
Sure.
Or
maybe you should talk to your master about such things.
Yeah. So I'm going to, in the heat of the moment, forget that we're hiding our Jedi nature and turn to Novar and basically say, we're not getting out of this if we don't use the Force. We have got to navigate this ship. Master, join with me.
Kona, we are not getting out of here. We have to land, and we have to still visit this this Solan Cass. So we will land there, and we will deal with the whatever troopers they send. Hopefully, we will confuse them, and we will get our time. This is actually not such a bad situation. All of their TIE fighters are like now busy following everyone else.
We're not going to try to escape.
We're
going to be arrested by the Empire.
No, we are not getting arrested. Hopefully, we will land on Solan Cass. They will send some ground transport. We will confuse them with our presence and then get away, because there is a place you and I have to visit on Solan Cass. At least I believe that this can be easily arranged. They will escort us to the Solan Cass, and then we will tell them that we have to land over there. They will send some ground transport. We will confuse them. At least that's my plan.
Oh, okay. As long as you have a plan, then I'm going to go see if I can find a place to hide my new friends. And I turn to leave the cockpit.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I think because I'm not really sure what are the repercussions from the Sola's fail, so I'm just like just looking at Sola, and so we can land on Sola's Cass, and then they will try to apprehend us, or what was what was this or how do you understand?
Yeah, you've been told this Gamma Delta squadron is going to apprehend you guys, and they've got tractor beams already set on several other larger freighters. So they've authorized you to land on Solan Cass, because like, where else are you going to go? And there you go. So yeah, you guys are headed to Solan Cass, and the squadron is going to basically fly over. A couple of them are going to land and come aboard your ship. That's the plan.
Yeah, by the way, guys, it's just like my plan. So if Sola wants to like tell or start giving orders, no, we have to get out of here. I'm really looking forward to it. But that's where I'm sending the fiction. So
yeah, we haven't really talked about whether Sola knows about your Jedi nature or not.
Before, I think she knows now.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if, I think Sola can just be like, I don't know why you feel the need to go here, but if this is so important to you, then I can run interference while you do what you need to do here.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this earlier. It was like strange at the first session. I totally think that at least Nova and Sola should have known each other from the rebellion. So
yeah,
I'm totally fine with you knowing that we are a Jedi. So far, Zuto is the only one kept in the black.
Cool. So Sola, you've agreed to run interference if needed, and the Blackbird is headed towards Solan Cass. Kona, you had left the bridge / cockpit to try to find your friends, and you come upon. So we'll go into people and places. If you remember, our red Twi'lek friend is the one who has the scatter gun, which is mumbling again. Sunvina is her name. Sunvina is currently she's gotten some kind of Hydra spanner, and she's trying to open up the locked door that leads into one of the turrets, like the manned turrets, and she's trying to jimmy it open. What do you do? You're muted, Mark.
I had all these things already said. It was Oscar worthy.
Just go ahead and roll dice. You obviously said the best thing. No.
Right. All I said was soon, Um, Sunvina, we're not going to fight right now. My master has a plan, and we
Your
are going.
master? I want to hear that stuff. You talked about freedom. She's working at the hinge now, trying to get the hinge to pop out. Who locks this down? We're getting attacked by TIE fighters. Get in that turret. We could take some of them down. Come on.
And I put my hand on her hand to get her to stop working at the door, the hatch or whatever. I am a Jedi in training, and I don't like the word either, but it's a tradition, and I'll follow the tradition. But he has a plan, and I don't believe in it, but I follow him. And right now, we just need to find a place to hide you two to make sure that they don't take you away.
Yeah, no. She reaches for your lightsaber. What do you do? Doesn't seem like she's going to attack you.
Right.
So you're clear.
So one of the only pieces of trivia that I know about Star Wars, and confirm me if I'm wrong, is that the switch for the lightsaber for a Jedi is on the inside, right? Like they actually use the Force to turn it on, or am I just
Sure?
Okay?
If
I don't want
that's how you want it to be, that sounds fine with me.
Okay. Well, let's just say there's an internal switch and an external switch. Like you don't have to.
There's a trick to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. Like someone can turn it on if they want to, but like, okay, never mind. There's an external switch, and God, what would I do?
I mean, I bet with the Force, you could keep it from igniting
without
a switch, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. I wanted it to make sense. Like she wouldn't take it from me if she knew she couldn't use it. So.
Well, what does she know about? I mean, what does she know about Jedi? They're like an extinct religion as far as she's concerned. She's not super old, so she's just going to try to take that laser sword and open up the hatch. That's her plan.
No, I caught that.
Okay, cool.
I let her take it, but I step in between her and the door.
Come on. I saw what you did to those Verpine. I could just take that hatch open, jump into that turret, and kill these TIE fighters.
If I do that, we're all going to get killed. And
I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back.
And I'm going to make sure that you aren't going to go back. So this is a bounty hunter ship, and I'm sure there's a place that we can hide you. And I'm going to go find that, and you need to come with me.
Oh, well, I think you need to convince her now.
All right. Let's see here. I have a character sheet. Let's take a look at it.
Difficulty is... I'm going to go for a 4.
Okay.
Dang it. Your obstacle level is a 4. There we go. I'll get that down one of these days. You think I've never run Lady Blackbird before because I keep hosting that.
Well, I have not had a chance to refresh, so this may very well work its way towards failure. Let's see. Well, I get 1 die for trying.
Okay.
And I mean, believer doesn't really fit, so I'm an apprentice. We're using my lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
And I can anticipate her responses.
Okay.
Or I can sense how she's feeling, one or the other. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll spend my last die pool.
All right, man.
So
I'm going to clear dice before you go. There we go.
Alrighty.
Good luck.
5DH. I got 2 successes.
All right. You got 2 successes. She flicks the button for the lightsaber, and it doesn't come on. And then you hear, and there's a blue flash, and she falls over. And you see 52 standing behind you in the hallway, and he's got his blaster carbine. He didn't fire a blaster hole through her, but he just stunned her in the back. And you realize that she's not going to trust you again. So I think you're going to have you mark a condition, either tired or angry. Your choice.
Let me add the die pool back in first of all, and conditions. No, they're not. Are they listed on the? Oh, there they are.
Yeah.
Okay, what were my choices again?
I think tired or angry.
Oh, I'm angry. Oh, I'm angry.
52 says, "I'm sorry. We've got to hide them."
And wordlessly, the 2 of us work together to find a place to hide them.
Okay.
Like it's just seething anger at this point.
Sweet. Yeah, so soon Vina is unconscious because she's been stunned, and there's a bit of surprise on Aintina's face, the blue Twi'lek, as you present her, but she does help you find a place, and she'll secure her head and make sure her Leku are okay. So you guys put her down in like a smuggling compartment within the deck plating of the ship. And we will pick up with Blackbird landing on Sola and Kos. A couple of TIE fighters screaming overhead, and you know that there is a transport that is arriving that will secure you guys. And they're going to lock down the Blackbird. That is what you are informed about. We'll cut back to the cracking bubble turret of Zuto, the bounty hunter. So we see that spider crack coming along the plastishield of your bubble turret from the TIE fighters panel that slammed into it. And you hear boom, boom, get rocked by a couple more shots from TIE fighters. And Kron is screaming, We are falling apart.
So I think Zuto's kind of realizing 2 things. One, he's still a little rusty when it comes to operating the turret because he's normally behind the controls. And also, I don't think he's very impressed with Kron's piloting ability. Maybe like scraping by, like actually literally scraping by some TIE fighters and stuff like that. He knows that this is
asteroid at one point. Yeah, like a little small asteroid that you would have easily missed. Yeah, I get it.
It's hard for us to get shots in because she's like jerking us at inopportune times and stuff like that. So I think Zuto's going to try to convince her to switch seats, basically. He wants to take control. But he knows that could be tricky because he literally fell into their ship from the sky and may not have earned a lot of trust from them yet. So I guess he gets like on the comm and he's like, Kron, I really have more experience behind a stick than a turret. How are you on the guns?
There's a pause. I think you've got to convince her that this is a good idea. I'm going to set your obstacle level at I'm going to call it 3, which is difficult to convince her to give up the comm to you.
The Kessel Run. Are you familiar with it?
Oh, God. Not the Kessel Run.
Would you believe if I told you I made it in under 15 parsecs?
That's crazy. No one's ever done that.
Oh, well. I mean, I've heard of someone who did it under 12, but 15's still pretty impressive, I would say.
20 parsecs, the best I've ever heard.
Well, regardless, I've been on the space lanes for quite some time, and I've gotten myself out of some pretty hairy situations. But I'm more of a pilot than a gunner.
Nice. I love this conversation going on as she's like bumping into TIE fighters and you hear Nangor going, I got another one. God, would you start shooting, please?
Oh, yeah, right. But what do you say? We a little bit of a Trandoshan fire drill?
All right, give me a roll.
All right. So
I think you've given a little bit of. I'm going to let you drop it down to a 2, mostly because I want to see you pilot.
Okay. Well, I'm going with negotiator here. Tails. Promises. I don't really think I'm demanding or intimidating here. I'm not really sure I'm making, if I would call this a deal.
If only you'd offered her something. There's a lot of tension between you. Maybe. I'm joking.
Oh, yeah, if I said a romantic evening in the skies. Let's see.
I'll slough off some of your scales, baby.
I know a lovely spot for an astral picnic. Let's do. I'll just throw in one of my pool die there. So that'll be 1, 2, tails, promises. Then so a total of 5. That's pretty good. Here.
All right.
3.
Okay, she says, hustle up, Ortegan.
Oh,
don't scratch my paint job.
And like I walk by a viewport as she's saying that, and like I can see through there like one of the engines is like on fire. Like, I'll do my best.
She lumbers past you and climbs, and she's what the hell happened to my turret?
I give her like a reassuring pat on the shoulder as we cross ways. It's like, I'll get us out of here. Don't worry. All in one piece. That's my motto.
Nice. All right. That sounds like you are now. You've actually entered a sector that has some asteroids that are, the size of a large room. A couple that are the size of a house. That is going to give you a little bit of a benefit. But the fact that you've taken out 2 TIE fighters, another squadron has arrived. So while you do have a bit of cover, it's also very tricky flying, which unfortunately is bracketed for you. So you don't have a protocol droid to give you the odds, so I'll have to do that. I think that escaping unharmed through this, the obstacle level is going to be challenging, or a 4.
Can I chime in and maybe say that maybe Zuto hit one of his keys and can take an advance before the roll.
I was gonna say, I feel like I'm maybe doing key of the mission here.
I think so too. I'm okay with that. And by the way, since we're doing that, Sola, you definitely hit key of the imposter earlier. And key of the padawan was 100% hit before because you placed friends commands above other concerns. So that's Kona and XP for Kona there. I think we hit one. Key of the mentor reminded Kona of her training. So all you guys have hit at least 1 XP so far. Anybody think they've hit anything else? Since we just took a brief break to do a key review.
Nope.
I might hit the key of the defender soon.
That's true.
But not yet. Cool. So I unlocked that tag for my existing trait with my advance. Thanks, pal. Great job there. Yeah, I think though, like right before I, get ready to do this tricky maneuver, I want to get in touch with the Blackbird. Now maybe I'm at a comm station or something.
Awesome.
I want to try to hail them. Bring.
Can I tell that it's that ship? Would I know what ship he's on? Even would you have said that?
Yeah, I think he communicate. I'm cool with that. Like, you guys okay with?
Okay.
I'd mentioned that I was going to be escorting our ship from another vessel.
Mm-hmm.
So
right. Yeah. Cool. I think I'm happy to pick it up then. How are you doing out there?
Oh, doing quite well. Like in between some laser bolts. I'm trying to devise a plan, a way for us to get out of this safely. What is your destination? Where are you heading towards?
Well, what's the name of the place that we're headed to?
That Roche 5.
Sola.
We are actually taking a small stop at Sola, which shouldn't be too far out of your trajectory, I'm hoping.
You're taking a pit stop when we're being pursued by TIE fighters.
I know. I would rather we be headed a little closer toward Naboo at this point, but that's okay. Do you think you can provide some cover for us? We have some people on our tail too.
Of course. I'll meet you there after I shake off this tail. Then cut the connection and I'll start to get a bit more acclimated. I'm sitting in the cockpit. There's all these big buttons, you said,
yeah, because she's got huge figures, so she had all the buttons resized and moved around, so the panel's a little larger. It's like a Duplo version of a cockpit, really.
So I think a custom cockpit is something that can be tricky for a new pilot to adapt to, but this is going very simple. So I think I'm able to kind of operate it pretty easily. I'm just going to try to show Kron how it's done. Do some Corellian kick flips or whatever, and just get them in a position where they can take out some TIE fighters more easily.
Trademark Corellian kick flips. That's the best flight maneuver I've seen in a while. That sounds amazing. So yes, you are on board. You're trying to fight your way free, and again, that is a difficulty. I'm sorry, that is an obstacle of 4.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right, start with 1. I'm a pilot. I'm doing something daring. I'm maneuvering. Now maybe I'm navigating through this combat situation. We're in battle. Not using the warp drive yet. I am trying to stay alert.
Yeah.
And particularly, I am now engaging in some tricky flying. So that's a total of 8 dice.
That is 8 dice.
And if I succeed, I get to take my die pool back that I used, or no? And that's if you fail.
If you fail, you get 1 back.
All right, I'm just gonna go with just straight 8.
You could spend 1 die pool, and if you fail, then at least you get a die back.
That's true. I only have 2 left, so I got to get to a refresh scene before I do anything.
You do, and you're away from everybody else. What are you doing? Yes. This is poor tactics.
I'm gonna have to get real close with Crowd and Ngor here in a minute. But I do manage to get my 4 successes.
Nice, man. Roll for your party. It's not refreshing. You got exactly 4. So you pull off this Corellian kickflip maneuver. There's a TIE fighter that, of course, like flies into an asteroid and explodes because that's what they do. Dangor takes out another one. Kron is not firing right now because she has basically space good stuff that she's trying to fill in the crack. But eventually she fires off, and you are able to make it deep into the asteroid belt, and you can even double back, working through kind of the dusty area where it's far too dangerous for any TIE fighters to easily traverse, and any of the larger ships wouldn't even give it a shot. And you can double your way back towards Sola and Kos if you would like. Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. So we pick up on Sola and Kos. Sola and Kos has a light atmosphere, so it's thin. Like, it's a thin atmosphere. The generators have still been left in functioning, in its space opera, so we don't have to worry so much about whatever MacGuffin keeps that working. But it is, even though half of it has been destroyed, it kind of looks like half of an asteroid, and then there's a bunch of craters and the like. You guys are able to find a landing spot, and we pick up with the crew of the Blackbird. Or is it only Novar and Kona?
Uh,
I think it would be cool if Solo came along, just because.
Yeah, I think for now, what we imagine is an extra limit, because I imagine that there are some troopers we need to bluff, and then we can move freely around the asteroid. But I'm not sure if that's the true. And also, Mark, if you want some refresh scene, I'm totally nailing towards some refresh scene once we get to the Jedi Temple. But who knows when we will get there? So if you have some idea about refresh scene, fire away.
I'm good with just providing cover for them if they want to run off and do their thing. So
okay.
I totally envision
or
that
maybe there's a battle on the way back.
Yeah, it's up to us. I think it's up to you, Rich. How much window of opportunity do we have here before troops arrive?
All right, fair. How about this then? The setup is you guys land. There are TIE fighters that are coming in a transport on its way. Sola stays behind with 52 to effectively run interference while you guys sneak off of the ship, maybe not even dropping the landing. Oh, I never know what those things are called. But basically, the ramp, dropping the ramp, and you guys don't even drop the ramp. You just kind of pop out of the side and sneak along, moving from crater to crater until you can come upon the remnants of this Jedi temple.
Yeah. I totally imagine that they're maybe, I don't know, front, middle, or the back of the temple is still with the asteroid, and then only the other part was destroyed and broken off.
Yeah, I like that.
Of this temple. And as we approach there, enter, Nova is silent and just walks with Kona. But as soon as we enter, Nova just stops and just appreciates the architecture of this place. Probably we see that there's some large structures, large destructions. Maybe we see some bones left in the corner, and Nova would like ask Kona, do you know what this place is?
No, Master. Why don't you tell me?
Open your mind. Sense this place. Feel it. Feel what was being done here 20 years ago. This is your first visit to what was once a Jedi temple where hundreds of padawans would train. I want you to like open up and sense this place. Feel how it is now. Feel what happened to it. And maybe you would like find a place where conveniently there are like 2 stones where we can sit and meditate on, so and also talk.
Okay. So Kona starts walking through the destroyed temple, and she's looking at, just the different. I don't know what a Jedi temple looks like, so she's just looking at things, and eventually finds a place where masters and padawans used to sit facing each other, and she's drawn to that. I imagine that at this temple, it's just 2 raised discs made out of stone, and she climbs on top of it and stands and looks around, and I assume Novar comes over to the opposite one, and so she's just looking around, and eventually she sits down and she tries to push away all that anger that she has, and the anger that she has that this is what is risking her Twi'lek friends' lives, is to sit down in a destroyed temple, and she tries to push all that away, and she says, she sits down and she says, this is what we're here for? We are not escaping the Empire to sit in a broken temple?
Covers Nova sighs very heavily and like leans over to like get your hand and like give me your hand, Kona. I want you to feel and experience this.
She puts her hand out.
Yeah. And I imagine that Novar would like help you to like see the similar vision that I had before. Like we will see some Padawans over here moving, training. We would see the other part of this temple, and then we would like see the last moments of this temple where this like stormtroopers attack, and this like one Padawan just like draws on the dark side, and like there's this like massive explosion, and I think it will like take a couple of minutes. It will be like a movie. I totally envision this like similar to the scene where from the last movie where Luke shows Rey the way of the Force. So we would also, before the destruction, we would like go and see how the Padawan like grow some plants, or how the Padawan are using lightsaber to like fight with this like the flying ball, and then it would like smash cut to this like the big fight, the destruction, and maybe the camera shows that the two of them are like Novar and Kona are like meditating, are like they're only their ethereal presence is in this place, and we would see like Novar crying, like the tears go down his face, and then when the vision ends, Novar will like.
Can I step in?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I just took Key of the Dark Side, and I just had a vision of a young Padawan and some fighting and some explosions. Is that right? Like,
Yeah.
I think when you open your eyes, I'm standing there with my lightsabers out, and I'm just fully engaged in the vision. And like, I look like I could attack anything at any given moment, and I'm just breathing heavily. Yeah, just breathing.
Yeah, and like Novar, like the tears are up, the tears are falling down his cheek, and he says, "This place, Kona, this place, we lost the fight. We lost with the battle of the dark side. We were training these young Padawans to preserve balance in the Force, to be good Jedi Knights, and then just one of them just like drinks from the well of the dark side to just like defeat the stormtroopers, and then all of this happens. This is the giant scar on our order. This is where we lost so many Padawans. I was here on a transport to just get them out. If they Padawans didn't use the dark side Force, I would just come here and I seen this explosion happen. This is why we came here. I wanted you to see this vision. And like Novar like managed to like wipe his tears. And he says, "This is why we can't allow the dark side to win. This is why we fight. This is why I train you as much as I can, because when I'm gone, you have to train the other Padawans. And I want you to remember this place, that maybe you can take them here and show them what we once were." Now tell me, Kona.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Like, drop your part.
Okay. What you've shown me is how to win. This is how you kill the Empire. You embrace this. You fight for what you believe in. You destroy those who oppress you. And like, she's very menacing with the lightsabers at this point. And she's like, I can do this. We can do this. We can destroy them. And that's her interpretation of the vision. And I expect you to shut her down somehow, but
Oh, Kona, this is dark side offers power, but we Jedi, we preserve life. We do not take life. We polish ourselves into maintaining the balance. That's why the dark side exists. Those who use the dark side, they use the Force to harm others, and that's why we cannot do it. There are times where we have to step in and fight, but we do it only to minimize losses. The thing that happened here, this one Padawan who drew from the well of the dark side, he destroyed not only the attacking stormtroopers, he destroyed the entire temple, and everyone else of the other 205 Padawans died because he did it. Is this what you want? Do you want people to just keep dying around you? The people who could have lived otherwise?
I want to do what the Alliance is doing. I want to gather together and fight back. And maybe if you had shown up earlier, you could have saved those Padawans, and this person would have been successful. Sorry.
I see my teachings, Kona, are going completely sideways. I don't know. I wanted you to see what we once were, what we once can be again, but drawing from the dark side, it's not our way.
Then what do you propose we do?
We have to support the rebellion. We have to train more people to be aware of the Force and have a proper way to use it. Maybe then, when we are strong again, we can try to take the fight back to the Empire. A one lightsaber, a two lightsabers, a 10 lightsabers. We can't win against armada of ships or millions of soldiers. The way we fight the Empire is by supporting those who fight and grow our ranks. Grow ranks of people who are of knights, of Jedis who are aware of the proper and improper use of the Force.
So we hide and we wait. Is that it?
Yes, we need to rebuild. There were thousands of Jedis before. There's only you and me now. We need to rebuild the Order first.
So she turns her back to Novar and takes the lightsabers and just cuts down into the stonework below her, like effectively ruining the meditation circle or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then closes up her lightsabers and just starts crying.
And Novar says, I know that you wanna fight right now, but I had an apprentice before, and I didn't properly train this apprentice into understanding what is the dark side of the Force. I came here to show you what the dark side is capable of, because I already lost one apprentice to the dark side. I can't afford to lose another one. Otherwise, there will be no Jedi left.
As you are comforting your Padawan, offering her some kind of hope and direction, you look upon the twin lightsaber cuts that have rent the stone, that area where you could sit upon and meditate, and you see something there in the recesses of that support structure that held up the like the mushroom type of stone that you would sit upon. There's a little flicker of light. Something is inside. What do you do?
Is it me or Kona sees it?
I think Novar sees it. Kona's on her knees and her back is effectively to it.
Yeah, I would come and investigate what this is, what was hidden over there.
You see that there is a crystal. It seems to have a very, very faint glow. And there are some markings on it in a very old tongue that you've seen in different Jedi temples before they were all destroyed. And this crystal is ancient, older than holocrons.
Would I know what it is? Is it like a is it like a crystal to power a lightsaber, or is it something else?
It is not a crystal to power a lightsaber at all. It actually looks like something like a progenitor to the holocrons. Holocrons are the holographic chroniclers. They are the method by which the Jedi and the Sith would store great, vast amounts of knowledge about the Force. But this thing is actually, it seems to be older than that, many thousands of years predating the Old Republic. You've only heard about such things.
Yeah, I guess Nova would take the stone, come back to Kona, and put the stone on her lap or on her hands, and just say, "Look, Kona, we found you are truly destined. We found this ancient crystal of knowledge. Just you found it by your actions. I think you should be the one to try to learn from it first. Then a little tiny hope in this forsaken place."
I'm not some kid that needs a toy when she starts crying. And like she's like looking at it and she's like, what is this? Another floating Jedi attack thing? You know, like what do you call those things that Luke had in episode 4?
I have no idea what those are called, but I wish I knew. Like, I would assume they'd be drones, like
flying baseball things. And like but she stares at it and like I don't. She's still angry. I think she's just going to try to throw it away. So
interesting. So as you do take a look at it, it's kind of amber colored, and as you look into it, you see that there are words that have been somehow etched onto it. You can't really read it, but you recognize some of the letters. They look similar to things that you've seen on Sola Panaka's documents and when she's working on the data pad, communicating back and forth with her homeworld. And you also see there's a faint image that you pick up, Kona, of a humanoid face with it's let me here. I've got actually a picture of what the humanoid face looks like. Oh, that's a teeny tiny version, but I'll give you a quick share. Oh, that's not the button I wanted to hit. Hold on a sec. No, there we go. All right, cool. The face looks like that.
Okay.
You can still throw it away. I just wanted to make sure.
Sure. And I think I think what she does is she throws it, and as she's throwing it, she realizes that she remembers she remembers at that moment the hope that Novar gave her when he first met her, and the sense that things could be fixed and corrected, and that she didn't have to be powerless anymore, and that she realizes that, like, you know, she signed up for this. Like, this is what she's asked for. And so as it's flying away, she's like, no, no, and then she uses the force to bring it back to her. And she says, I will meditate upon this, master.
Very well, Connor. I'm really glad. This is why we came here. Now we should really say what you did. We should and get the hell out of here.
Cool. With that, we will cut that scene and take a bio break, and we'll pick back up with Sola and Zuto arriving very soon after.
Cool.
So let's take about 5 minutes for a bio break, and we'll kick back in. All right, we are back. We pick up with the Blackbird landed. Some time has passed, but we, the audience, know that the Jedi and Padawan are still off at the temple, the broken temple on Sola and Kos. And one of the Imperial transports, remember the one with the two, it's like the tribe thing. It's got the one fin up top and then the two wings that come out to the side. It comes coasting in with a pair of TIE interceptors. We know that is come from the Hand of Sorrow. And that lands right beside the Blackbird on the asteroid. You see chunk as the landing gear comes down and the platform lowers down. You guys remember from the type, like the back kind of opens up and several stormtroopers come out, and walking with them, of course, we have a little bit of like a modified Imperial march. We do not see Darth Vader. This one has like a weird synth, discordant kind of synth mixed in with the Imperial march. And we see, I will drop the picture into links and then I'll quickly screen share what that looks like. Hold on just a second. Screen sharing in this is not as easy as it used to be. That's okay. Or it's the way it used to be. It's not as easy as it is now. There, that's the phrase that I need to say. Looks like this. Individual with gray pallid skin. They're wearing a helmet that has a weird breathing apparatus, and this individual is the one that the stormtroopers are walking around. There's a squad of them, and he comes on board the Blackbird. Sola, you see him on the outside. 52 says, I think you should hide. I can handle this.
So actually, as I see them walking up, is it possible for me to meet him off ship? Like,
absolutely. You could definitely go quickly, kind of hustle down and meet him out in the opening.
Yeah. So I think maybe 52 sees that and like, we're just going to deal with this directly. You back me up if I need it, I guess.
Sola, we have places to hide. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, it's going to be worse though once they find us. So we might as well just upfront about it and go out there and deal with it directly. We already said we were with the Akbar brothers, and that's what we're going to keep banking on for the moment. So listen, I'm glad you want to keep me safe. I know that that's why you're here, but we can't just keep running. We need to deal with our problems directly.
Okay. I trust you, Sola. You meet your eyes.
But what you could do is you could make sure that everyone else is safe. So please go back to the ship and just make sure everyone else is safe and hidden as well as possible.
Ooh. Oh, man, that's rough. You're going to tell her to stay behind? Ooh, I think you need to convince 52 to actually legitimately stay behind and stay out of sight. We'll call this easy. He is the bodyguard that you order around, but still I need a couple successes to feel comfortable that he won't come stick his nose in something later.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna go with strategist. So 1 for trying, 1 for strategist. I have a plan.
Okay.
I'm gonna use that. I think I feel like this is bold, just walking right out there directly.
Yeah.
So that's 4. I don't know how clever it is. Actually,
I was going to say, you can't be bold and clever in this one.
But I think I'm going to try to use some tactics here. So I think that gets me 2, 3, 4, 5. And I will throw in, what's the difficulty you said, 2 or 3?
2.
Two.
The
Okay.
the
I'm going to throw one.
obstacle
One
is
pool
two.
die. The obstacle. Yes. Sorry. So I'm going to throw in one pool die, so that gets me 6.
Oh, that sounds like a guarantee. Is that pool die? It's
Nothing is a guarantee.
Guarantee.
Oh, and 2 on the nose.
Oh man, it is so close. Burn up those pool dice, please, Sola. Okay, Sola, I trust you. And yeah, he's not happy. So you head down the gangplank and cross the space between the two ships, and you're alone, right, Sola? This is a bunch of chutzpah you got going on here. Moxie, just loads of moxie.
I think I walk right up to him as close as I can get. Like if I can get right up in his face, I will. And I'm like pushing on his chest. Like, well, how tall is this guy?
I'm gonna say that with the helmet, maybe he's like this much taller than you. He's not
Okay.
Darth Vader tall.
Not significantly. Yeah. Okay. So I think I walk up and I just push on his chest, and I'm like, "We are here on a mining expedition. Why did you stop us? I do not understand this."
He kind of leans a little bit down. You can feel his eyes behind the mask. This seems unlikely. Why would you come to a place where a Jedi temple once stood?
I could care less for this whatever temple is here. We're here to extract some minerals and to do some surveying, to do some tests. This is not. Who cares if there's a Jedi temple here? The point is that there are rich minerals under the ground, and my bosses are going to make a killing if they can pull this off.
Your bosses. All of this is under the
Akbar brothers, I'm sure you know of them.
They are beneath me, as are you. Now, where is your crew? I sense something among them.
Presumably my crew is on the ship. Where else would they be?
He looks to the stormtroopers like he's going to order them to go on board. What do you do?
So I will have known where everyone was hidden, right?
Yeah. You know where the smuggling compartments are. As you left, 52's just going to be part of the crew. Like you can't fly this thing by yourself, so that he volunteers to say he's part of the crew. And the droid is here too. Yeah, for real, is here as well.
Okay. So I think the way that I'm approaching this is to say that we have nothing to hide, really, and like to bring them aboard the ship and show them all of the legitimate cargo that we're carrying and the tools that we have for surveying. I guess I don't know, whatever I can show to make it look
gotcha.
On the up and up, and show them like the secret hatches, but not the secret hatches. You know.
Nice. I think to alleviate some of his suspicions, I'd like to see you make an obstacle 3, an ob 3. Now we're going to drop into my old burning wheel days. You've got an ob 3 coming at you. Meanwhile, Zuto, the outrider, is coming to Solan Kos, and you see the Blackbird, your ship, and you also see an Imperial transport and a bunch of stormtroopers and TIE fighters screaming past. So, yeah, you know that. Build your pool, Sola.
Okay. So I am, let's see. I think my hope here is to, yeah, this is strategy again. So I'll get 1 for trying, 1 for strategist, 1 for plans, 1 for feint, because I'm gonna show certain things but not other things. I would say this is fairly clever, so that gets me 5. I'm not sending anyone to die. I don't have that anyway. Tactics, and then I'm hoping surprise. Like if things go bad, I'm hoping that 52 is sort of ready to pull out some guns if we need. Yeah, right. So that's 7.
Oh, you just
And
might rock this.
3. I'm gonna throw in
Yes.
one more just to be safe.
Ob 3. I can't believe you've got disguise and smuggle, but you're using strategist. I mean, it's cool, it's legit, but it's interesting.
Mixing it up. Yeah. Okay, so I'm rolling with 8. Oh yeah, killed it.
You
So that is
nailed
6.
that roll. This guy, he doesn't actually do anything. He has the stormtroopers. He's just kind of a commanding presence. There's a chill that comes off of him. When you stand near most sentient beings, they exude a kind of warmth, right? Body heat. He does not seem to have much of any. You can actually hear the compressor from his breathing apparatus as he stands there, just stock still. And yeah, they come back. They search through everything, moving all things aside. 52 offers to help. Here, let me move that for you. And he moves a few things around, but he's standing on top of the deck plate that has one of the Twi'leks underneath. R for real just kind of zips around and ignores everybody, and then we'll cut out to Zuto. It looks like they are unable to locate anyone so far with that many successes. So we cut out to Zuto when you come upon your ship, the Blackbird, and the Imperial presence. What do you do, Zuto?
Well, at least it looks like they didn't scuff the paint. But they've not given me a very pleasant situation regardless. Sorry, Captain Kron. I was hoping that this would be a bit of a cooler landing zone for us. I suppose we need to find a place to lie low with your ship so that we don't draw attention to it. So I would look for like a little cave or...
Oh yeah, you could find like a little kind of an alcove that's located somewhere on the asteroid not far away. Kron says, "So this is your ship? It's nicer than my ship now."
Oh, I've done a little bit of work on it here and there. Pretty proud of her, indeed.
A nice bird.
Yes, the Blackbird, I call her. Now,
just the Blackbird, not like there's no adjective Blackbird
relating to time. I don't know. I never thought about it. I do like your ship, the Wily Outrider. There's a certain charisma there. Kron, I intend to fully repay you for any repairs needed for your ship. Your passage here has been very fortuitous, and I appreciate everything you've done. If you'll give me time to sort out this Imperial interference, I'm sure that we can make this area safe for you to egress safely. But I would highly recommend staying put here until you see those TIE fighters exiting and going into hyperspace.
So you're proposing that you go get your ship and blast the heck off of this asteroid, and we just wait and sneak out with the trash. I like it.
Oh.
It seems less dangerous for me, and it gives me time for my pit droids to actually make some of the repairs from our exit.
Yes.
Good luck.
See you in the space lanes, and we'll share like our space business cards and our cred lines, so I can theoretically send
fist
her
bump
some credits.
you, like. Oh.
We do the underworld handshake, as I'm leaving, I kind of want to like, tell me if I have the resources or the fictional ability to sabotage this ship in some way. If I can't leave.
Well, you've been in the cockpit, so if this is a thing that you kind of planned as you're going in, we could effectively like flash back to you doing a thing. Wow, you're so great. You're such the worst. This is great. But I think that doing it where she won't discover it and then get her own way off, I'm going to call that an ob. She knows the ship pretty well, right? So I think it's going to be an ob of 4.
Okay. And I'm
but if
looking
you
at
if you succeed with that, they're done. Like they're just basically locked down. She doesn't even know what you've done to rewire and reroute the systems.
Well, I'm looking at this, and I don't. What would failure mean here? Is there going to be a further consequence, or it just doesn't work?
Great question. So here's the deal. If you get 2 successes, she doesn't know that you messed with anything, but it doesn't delay. If you get 4 successes, she's delayed and has no idea that you did it. How's that?
Okay, cool. Because I don't think I have a trait here that applies.
You don't have a dog. You don't have a dog in this race. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I guess hunter, maybe trapping.
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay, I think that's about all I have. So, hunter, trapping, 1 for trying. I'll throw in my last 2 from my pool and hope I get a chance to refresh. For a total of 5 dice, trying to get 4 successes. Oh boy. At least 2. Okay, I got 2.
Woo, you got to 2. So you fiddle with the system the best way you know how, but you don't have much time. Close the panel back up again, and she'll be none the wiser. But unfortunately, all you did was you turned off the coffee maker. And
damn Trandoshan wiring, it's all.
Ningor's like, okay, a little cup underneath the nozzle. What's going on? Hand underneath.
So yeah, I'm going to kind of just like I pull on like a cloak. Maybe there's like a cool like rebreather or something because it's like a dusty kind of.
I love that.
I'm just sort of like walking through this dust cloud or whatever, heading towards there, looking over my shoulder at this prize, considering what I might do. But I think so. I have this secret of Moth of the Flame, which is like anytime violence is about to break out, I can appear. So maybe like I'm just heading stealthily towards the Blackbird.
Sure, and we could also just have you conveniently see the Jedi and Padawan making their way back up if you like that.
Oh yeah, I want to see that too for sure. like
cool
space binoculars.
Awesome. Yeah. So you get the space. Oh, I love those. Those are so good. Right? We have the range, right, and the little across the hash marks and stuff, and we see both Novar and Kona heading back.
Could you also have witnessed it all the way from me threatening him with lightsabers?
Well, I think that was inside the temple. So I don't think I still don't know you have lightsabers that you can move things with your mind. I'm totally clueless.
Okay. You used to like being clueless. That's great. I'm a bounty hunter. I know everything about my prey. You guys are Jedi. Sorry. Okay, cool. So yeah, you catch them making their way back towards the ship. And so Novar, this will be the point when you feel something you haven't felt in ...
Yeah. What do I feel? Do I feel the presence of my old Padawan?
You do indeed feel the presence of your old Padawan. You think perhaps he knows you're here.
Yeah. And just for a purpose, because I wanna do some cool vehicle jump out and start fighting. I don't think that we are not walking, because this asteroid is huge. I think we are like some kind of like a land speeder, asteroid bike, whatever. And as we are driving back, I'm just like saying to Kona, things just get a little bit more complicated. I will need you to just. Can you start ship from here? Can you tell R4RL to just start the ship?
Let me unmute myself. Yes, Master. And I pull out a little like voice box thing, and let's see. She would say something like, God, she'd have something cool for this, I think. I'm just trying to think of it. I don't know. She gives it some code words or something like that. I can't think of anything, unfortunately. And
just say Niner. Like Niner sounds like good code word stuff. I like. Alpha Whiskey Bravo Niner plan Delta.
Would this happen at like a really inopportune moment when this guy is still aboard the ship?
He's super aboard the ship.
No, wait, then it doesn't completely make sense. Yeah. If he's on board the ship, then it completely doesn't make sense.
What did you want to do? What were you thinking?
I was just thinking the first Star Wars movie, when this dark Sith just drives on the bike, just jumps off and starts hacking with the two Jedis. I was thinking of having this cool moment, because what happened with Novar, I bought one key and I got a key of the warrior. So we're going to see some major shift in Novar. He's done mourning. So that's why I was hoping that he's outside of the ship, and we can just drive by, jump out, and start slashing.
Maybe my words
that's cool.
Moved you some.
Yeah, definitely.
Then let's not have it happen on the ship. I want you to do your cool move. So
sounds good to me too.
Go for it.
Okay.
Well, I tell the droid to be ready at any moment.
Yeah,
to get the ship ready.
Starts, for real, starts working through pre-flight checks and starts to spin up the engines, but quietly.
Yeah. I need to take care of a man outside of our ship. I need you to just head in. If possible, use the blasters to shoot out their transport, and if they have any more ships, I will be done as soon as possible, and we can leave this place.
Yes, Master.
Yeah, and so I totally imagine that maybe Sola and this dude are just standing outside. Stormtroopers are, I don't know, it would be cool for some of them to still be on board. And we just drive by. Maybe, I totally try to focus to hide our presence from him, but we can definitely see us just driving on top of the asteroid, and then Nova just last moment take the turn to just park the car. Nova just jumps out and lands in front of this guy and in front of Sola, I suppose, as well.
Sweet. So Sola, you've pulled off the scam. There's nothing this guy who you hear, the stormtroopers, they refer to him as Jashup. And so he's walking back out of the ship telling you that it's going to be impounded, and he's leaving you, but leaving behind a contingent of stormtroopers to he's yep, you followed all the protocols. I don't care. You're locked down. And then he heads out.
I think I'm just verbally abusing him all the way back. How dare you? Just wait till you hear from my superiors. Finger wagging at him the whole way.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And then he does a thing where he holds up his hand and you feel the squeeze on your throat. And that's when Novar and Kona come in, and of course, we know that Zudo can show up any moment that he wants because violence would happen. So, we out in front of the Blackbird. Novar, you guys come up on, let's just say it's some kind of speeder bike that you use to transport yourself out to the Jedi Temple.
Mm-hmm.
You had already kicked Kona off of the bike so she could sneak in. Is that what you were just giving her orders to do, right?
I just asked her to. I told Kona to like get in into the turrets and use them to blow the TIE fighters and the transport. But however she does it, it's up to Kona. Nowhere, just like focus on like jumping out, landing. Yeah. Do you have a name for my old Padawan?
I do. If you look on the people and places on line 10, Talon Jashub.
So yeah, we see like this like speeder bike that moves by. Nowhere like jumps, flips in the air, lands, and now I've been hiding this for 2 sessions. We see Nova draw his lightsaber, and he says, "Talon, you are here for me, I believe."
Oh yes. Now the student has become the master. The circle is complete. I don't have a cool. Sweet. Talon is coming at you. What do you do?
Yeah, so I imagine that Sola is somewhere halfway out, and I just like shout to her, "Get on the ship! Start leaving!" And we like lock the blades, me and Talon, and I say, "I sense you have fallen completely into the dark side," and I just like push him away. He just like lands, flips backwards, and I imagine that there will be like a moment of conversation. However, what would I tell to him?
Yeah, so Sola, your throat opens back up again as soon as he sees Novar. Then, all bets of messing with this minor girl is like done. And by minor, I mean with an E, not an O, because Sola's older. She's seasoned, right? Like a fine steak. And he gets thrown back with your force push, but he tumbles back and comes up, and he's still got the lightsaber out. And I've got a cool picture of what the look for. I'm just using the pictures of Star Killer when he goes Sith for the Force Unleashed video game for all nerds who know that nerdering, because I just love the look of that. And he says, "I have the power you could never give me. And now I'm going to take from you the last thing you have, your lightsaber."
You misuse the Force completely.
Oh, he says, no, you don't even understand the Force. You see only a sliver of the power I know.
Then let's have it. Show it to me.
Oh,
what do you have?
Nice. So before we set with you guys, you clash sabers, I want to check in with Kona. I haven't heard from you in a bit. You were just basically booted off by your master and told to go sneak away. You're so good at following orders, so I know that's what you're doing. Wait, no, what are you doing, Kona?
Well, I'm actually following orders, but what I'm doing is I'm running to free the Twi'leks so that they can get in the turrets, and maybe they'll trust me once again. There just might be some enemies in between me and there that 52 and I might have to deal with before I can do so.
That sounds fun. Yes. Of course, there are a bunch of stormtroopers that were here with Jashub, and they're going to stop you from running on board. They don't realize you have lightsabers, so this could go badly for them. But the ship's like, "Hey, who is that?" "Oh, it's a slave girl." they aim their blaster carbines at you.
Yeah, so I'm deflecting the beams as they come at me and running through them.
Oh, wicked. Awesome. So let's catch up with Sola. Once you see things are starting to break apart here, a big fight between Novar and this Jaship character. You see Kona, she's trying to fight her way on board. You're kind of caught out and a little bit exposed, but you're totally capable. So what do you do?
Yeah, I'm doing whatever I can to help set up Kona to be able to get onto the ship, because I have a pretty good sense of what she's aiming for, and know that 52 would be like kind of fighting from the other direction. So whatever I can do to like tackle a stormtrooper and steal one of their blasters and make an opening for her, I'll try to do. Yeah,
love it. I love it. And then just to check in with Zudo, where is Zudo? What's he doing?
Good question. So I think, yeah. So there's still like TIE fighters outside, right?
Yes.
Are they manned, or are all of the troopers like here at the ship?
There's nobody sitting. Let's say there's a pair of TIE fighters that landed on either side of the Imperial transport, and they're not current. Like they don't have pilots in them because this has been a bit. Like they fully inspected the Blackbird.
Okay. In that case, I'm definitely going to get into the action, but I'm hoping to jump in at a moment where someone is in danger and I can kind of rescue them. So
they're all in danger, but okay, I understand.
Specifically, like, oh crap, and then boom, Suto. Is what
sounds
I like
good.
to do.
All right, so then let's go get them in trouble.
Yes, thank you.
So fighting Jaship, Novar, your obstacle is, I've got it now. I'm not even saying the D word. Your obstacle is, I'm going to say that if you want to fight your way to where your group can escape, then I'll say that your difficulty is difficult. Your ob is difficult, or a 3. If you want to out and out defeat Jaship right now, it is extreme.
No,
it's 5.
It's just not yet the fight with Jashop. I think it will happen next session. This is like stalling for time, trying to like, this is not yet late for you. He's like hoping that maybe there's something. So
nice.
He's not really have his heart into like hard blowing. He like stops himself from doing the hard blow. If this is not yet too late, you can turn it.
Cool. So he's trying to convert. He's trying to upgrade because this one padawan of his is like, she's not doing so great. But this guy, he had potential, right? That's how this is going. No, the ob is a 3 to basically distract Jaship long enough for everybody else to have an opportunity. Otherwise, he's going to start throwing force, lightning, and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So difficulty of 3.
Yeah, this is definitely just like stalling for time and then quickly escaping the place. Wow.
Just don't do the thing where you like just hold up and let him slice you down, because we got a whole nother session of you. Force Ghost Novar won't be able to do as much.
Yeah, so it's like 1 for trying, 1 for knight, 1 for lightsaber, and I think I totally imagine that this is like this type of fight where we like are very acrobatic. We use like force to jump over. We like jump on the ship, run on the ship, fight over there, dodging, and blocking. The lightsaber goes on. So I'm throwing in acrobatics. I'm dropping in dodge. I'm dropping in block. Yeah. I wonder if I want to use my cool secret over here, but maybe not yet. Oh, let's go all the way. Like, we're already like using force in this fight, so I'm going to use my secret trait of experience that I learned. Once per refresh, you can use tags for more than 1 trait when you make a roll. So it's just not only lightsaber, it's like he's trying to push me. I like deflect this, like I like to try to like throw him around, and then and yeah. So I'm going to use from force sensitive. I'm going to use throw. I'm going to use left, and my cool new attack, Last Jedi, because there are not so many of us left, so there are fewer us drawing on the Force, so Force is strong with Novar. So I counted 9. I'm going to roll it.
Wow! Oh, this is so cool.
9. DH, yes? DH.
That's correct. DH.
Oh, there you have it. 8 successes.
Wow! You rolled one fail. Like, it's statistically unlikely. Yeah, so not only are you able to distract him, you weren't looking to defeat him, but this is a lightsaber duel. You take something from him in this fight. What is it that you take from him? Do you take like a hand? Do you take something from him? Like, do you disable whatever breathing apparatus he has going on? Do you?
No, yeah, I totally think that this is the moment where I just like take his lightsaber hand with the sword, and we see the sword like fall off from the roof of the ship, land somewhere in the sand, and then I like push him off the ship so that he cannot like stop us anymore. And hoping that everything is going fine inside, I just like walk in and I'm ready to like get out of here. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So let's figure out Kona and her fight with the stormtroopers, which is going to probably get an assist from Sola, possibly secret surprise assist from Zuto, but Kona first. Kona defeating these stormtroopers. I'm going to call that an ob of 4 because they've got you kind of dead to rights. They have blaster carbines, and there's a lot of them.
Okay. I really want to use youth, but I know I have my lightsabers out. So, as I'm running in to the ship, I reach back and I grab a strip of cloth and I tie it around my eyes and then pull out my lightsabers. You gave me the blinded tag, so I'm going to use it. So one for doing something. Well, let me finish describing it. So what I do is I run in and there's 4 troopers, and I run up a wall and do a backflip. And as I'm doing that, 2 of the troopers shoot each other. And then the other 2 troopers, I land sabers down, cutting their blasters in half. And I finish them off with a force push. And then I spin and take care of the other 2 guns while blindfolded. So I am doing something, and I'm an apprentice, and I've got a lightsaber, and I've sliced, and I'm blinded. I had to anticipate when they were going to shoot their blasters. So that's 6 dice. Did my scene with
Yes,
Novar
it was a refresh. Yes.
That was a refresh? Okay.
Yep, for both of you.
All right, so that's back to 7 dice there. So I think I had up 6 dice. Let's see, 1, 2, 3.
Took your fingers down so you can't count anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. So I had 6, and so I want to use an extra die because I'm angry, but I don't think that's in the rules.
No,
So-
you can use the dark side though.
Well, I don't have the secret of the dark side.
Oh, not yet. Need
I have
more
a
XP.
I have key of the dark side. And but right now, I'm not killing them. So I think both of our speeches affected the two of us at least for a little bit.
Nice.
So what's my obstacle?
4.
4. Okay. I will throw in. I'll throw in 4 dice.
Now, are you, Sola? Are you throwing one towards Kona?
Yeah, if I can help you out in some way.
Of course.
I have,
you grabbed a stormtrooper's blaster rifle, so there you go.
Well, actually, I wanted to take that back because I have under athlete, I have this Terras Kasi unarmed combat, so I feel like I need to bust that out and use that to like fight some stormtroopers to help Kona. So yeah, you can take 1 die for me.
Yes, you broke out the Terras Kasi. Yes.
Yeah, so Nowhere has the secret of Master and Padawan. When you and your Padawan act in union with aligned purpose, you each get +1 die. So I think we are all working toward getting out of here. So I think
I agree.
From my secret, 1 extra die toward Kona.
So that's 8 dice so far. Then?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will only use 2 of my pull dice because I want to roll 10 dice. And gonna clear the board.
Yeah, good call.
And roll 10 for
DH. Whoa, 5.
That's statistically what should have happened. So
I know, but it was close. It was close. Nervous me. I'm playing up the awesome. So exactly as you saw it in your mind, you take out all 4 of these stormtroopers. There's a 5th one that comes up that you didn't account for. He gets shot in the back by Sola because she was able to wrest away with her Terras Kasi and grabs that blaster rifle. Then all of you start running aboard the Blackbird to get out of here. Zudo, how do you appear? What does this look like?
So I think the shot is like the camera like behind Kona's eyes as she's taking the blindfold off, and Zuto's just standing there like holding his blaster rifle, like his mouth is agape, like, "Whoa, what'd you just?" And then we kind of just like look and realize this is a hairy situation and run on board.
Awesome. And
We're gonna have a chat later.
Nice. Stormtrooper pilots are running to the TIE fighters. Some of the other are trying to come up to help Joshua back up. And he's screaming at them like, take the Blackbird down, destroy it, blow it from the sky.
Zudo, did you do anything to the TIE fighters while you had a moment?
That'd be a great flashback. We know how great Zuto is at sabotaging
the coffee makers, right?
Yeah.
Well, you were sabotaging without them knowing it.
Right.
This you could be a little more.
I'm able to do this with a little bit less discretion. I would have loved to have sabotaged some TIE fighters on my way out.
Awesome. Obstacle for that would be a 2. How's that sound?
Okay. Now, I don't have any just grenades on me, I guess.
You don't? Why don't you?
Well, I need to add that trait, I guess.
You need a trait for grenades?
Is that how it works? I don't know.
I don't know.
What would it take?
You didn't just fly one of the TIE fighters and shoot the other one?
Awesome. No, I want him on the Blackbird. Please don't have him flying another ship.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm ready to be back on my bird. Yeah, I think if as a bounty hunter I have access to some small explosives, I think I have some knowledge of TIE fighters, and I'm able to kind of the weak points with their repulsor wings or whatever. It's pretty easy to set that up with a little timer or a little remote. But as far as a trait, I'm having a little difficulty there thinking about what applies.
Oh, you are just not built for sabotage.
I'm very direct. Yeah. Well, maybe
You know
I'll
what? I
just
tell you what.
shoot
How
them.
about we could just obviate a die roll and say one of the TIE fighters you were able to successfully. We'll just say you did. That's a thing you did. I'm totally cool with sacrificing a TIE fighter for you to look awesome and us not have to worry about.
Well, I was gonna say, is there time for me to get into the turret and just like blow them up as they're running up to their ships, or is that poor time?
You've got the secret of the moth to the flame, so if you want to use up that secret, then yes, you can.
Perfect. We'll just do it that way.
Awesome.
And we see them kind of running towards the TIE fighters, and then they're blown up in their faces.
One of them explodes out, and then the Blackbird will rise up because Foriol's got her already pre-flight checks all done. Engines were almost completely spun up, and you take off. And Novar, you look down, you see Jashup is watching you leave, and then he'll head over and get his lightsaber. And Sola, the Twi'leks pop up out of the smuggling panels, right? 52 is helping them out, and you've got that weird crystal as well. So if you guys are cool with it, you kind of blast out. You're far enough away from the gravity well. Enough time has passed where they're no longer processing people. You guys hop into hyperspace and make good your escape, getting back onto the Perlimian trade route, which is headed towards the deep core, which means you guys have decisions to make. So with the remaining time, I'd like to have any refresh scenes need to be held, and then you guys will need to make a decision about how you're going to proceed on to get to Naboo, because you have two paths. But first, let's see. What are things that need to be dealt with in refresh scenes at this point?
I just wanted to have a really quick one with Novar, just asking him if he found what he was looking for.
Cool. And maybe Kona's around for that?
Yeah, sure. And Zuto is listening.
It's his ship. He's got it bugged.
Yeah.
So I think I once we're all a little settled in space, I walk up to Novar and
Senator,
did you find what you were looking for out there? Was that what you wanted?
yes, I found peace. I found courage, and we found some knowledge that I hope Kona can unlock. It was dangerous endeavor, but I think it totally paid off.
What you found some knowledge? What was it that you recovered out there?
We found out a memory crystal that I hope Kona, with the help of her droid, can look into. Probably nothing.
Richie said something about oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Probably nothing that will contain the super ship plans or massive plans that will massively help rebellion. But I definitely hope that this will this is the knowledge we can then use to return Jedi Order to its full glory, given some time.
And Richie said something about there being some symbols on it that would be possibly familiar to Sola.
Yeah. Yep, that's true.
Kona, can you show this crystal, please?
Sure.
Awesome.
What is it that I see?
There's quite a bit that you see. First of all, the amber color. This just is the amber color crystal. It's about this size. We can easily fit it in one hand. You recognize. Do you know how Middle English looks to us nowadays? It's like, oh, I understand all these words, but this shit makes no sense to me. It's an ancient form of Naboo, using a lot of the same symbols for letters, but in the parlance just doesn't seem to make sense. That the sentence structure is odd. the words are different and used in different ways, but it's Nabooan. The thing that's even more telling, though, is the image that you see within the crystal. There are, I don't know if you guys remember this from the prequels, but there are these weird things. They're known as the Nabooan elders. And the elders of Naboo are a species of like aliens that originally, yeah, I know, prequels, but they are seen in a lot of the architecture on Naboo, and they are kind of a forerunner species that were force sensitive, and no one has seen them in thousands of years. But you get the distinct feeling that this is some kind of key.
I think I see it, and as soon as I recognize those symbols, I'm just like standing, mouth agape, looking at these two. Like, how is this out here? Like, I think maybe I start crying. Like, I'm a little overwhelmed by it. I don't even know how to interpret it. It feels like destiny. Maybe I even say that.
There used to be a Jedi temple out here on I forgot the place name, on Sola. We briefly just investigated and found this, or maybe seeing your reaction, maybe it's better to say that it found us. Mysterious are the ways of the Force.
I think you're right.
I actually found it.
Right.
I don't.
Yes, Kona, you did. Absolutely.
I think I walk right up to Kona and like grab her by the shoulders, and I say, just stare into her face, and I say, "Thank you. I don't know how you found this or why it's here, but thank you. Thank you." And just like try to acknowledge her as much as possible.
She's into that.
Nice. A little refresh going on here. Definitely feels refreshing to me. I think 52 will come up to you, Zudo, up in the cockpit.
I kind of like shut off the strapping channel I was listening to. I see we've taken on more cargo.
We have. Didn't think I would see you again.
Lose out on a credit? Doesn't sound like me.
Did you find what you were looking for when you left us on Roche?
Yes. Yes, I did. But the Force works in mysterious ways, as they say. And I still have some hunting to do. But I have a long career ahead of me. No worries.
You have earned... You've earned my trust. What you've done for Sola and the others. What is it that you're hunting? How can I help you?
Oh, me. I'm just hunting for the next meal. That's all. That's all I've been doing ever since I was a child, a youngling. It's been a while since we've had any good grub. What you were a soldier, right?
It was.
What kind of rations did you have in the war?
I don't even want to talk about it. Clones were given a paste. Odorless, tasteless. It was a nutrient paste. I didn't have solid food until after the war.
Huh. That's pretty rough. I was going to complain about my alley space rat equivalent species, but at least that had some char. Well, I'll tell you what, 52. When we get to Naboo, I will treat you to a feast. It'll be, oh my, as good as your last meal.
All right, I could do with that. My last meal was pretty good.
Yes, well, better than nutrient paste at least. If that scene there, I'd like to have a scene with Sola if possible.
I think that sounds awesome. And this may be the last scene of the session, other
Sure.
than a quick. Maybe we do it out of character. I don't know if we do it in character, but let's just do this scene. Rich will shut up. Let's do this scene.
Well, I mean, at some point, I would definitely want to have a discussion with the Jedi, but maybe like
We
later.
could open next session with it.
Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, I think after you're done speaking with them, Sola, I'd like to pull you aside. That was a pretty hairy situation. You handled yourself well.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, one does not last long in this world without having some wits about them.
I agree. I come to understand. Typically, with these things, discretion is the byword, and I wouldn't ask too many questions. But I feel like it's as if we've gone through a lot together, and I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit.
Yes, please. What did you have on your mind?
So you're a senator, right? That's this why we've
Was a
got all
senator,
this.
sadly.
Right. That's why we've got all this heat on us, right? Not complaining, just being aware of it. What made you choose that life? How did you find yourself in that position?
To become a senator?
Sure. Was it just good at it? What
No. I certainly did not want to, or I certainly did not start out good at it. I'm not sure how much you are familiar with Naboo. Have you sought any bounties there previously?
Well, there was this one time a rather clumsy Gungan was kind of had earned the ire of some local crime lords, but that was a good time. But I suppose I did not have a lot of time to drink in the culture of that planet. So tell me more.
Well, as you no doubt know, it is a beautiful place, and there's so much going for it. But with your experience with the Gungans, you would know that things have not always been peaceful, and there have been tensions there. And I grew up not in the lap of luxury, but rather made my way as a young child on the streets and managed to endear myself to the local citizenry through much effort and much peacemaking. And when I received a call to help my people, I couldn't help but take up the honor and managed to serve as senator for a short time, but made connections there, made made friends, made contacts, and now, given the state of the Empire, it's more important than ever that I make it back there and try to make a difference. The planet is so close to tipping over that I feel like I need to go broker peace and make sure that Naboo makes the right decision.
When I was a young gutter snipe, all I could think of was getting off of Ithor, getting away from my home planet. Actually, finally getting some nice clothes and a warm bed. If I had to go back to Ithor, I think I'd probably avoid it at all costs. But you want to return to that place. What is it about those people? I mean, surely growing up on the streets, there are people who tried to take advantage of you, who would have. How did you avoid that cynicism that I've grown to love in myself? It's kept me alive.
I don't know that I have avoided it entirely, but I guess I just have hope that we can still make a difference, that we are basically good, and that we need to nurture that if we have any chance of overthrowing the Emperor.
Yes, I've tried to adapt that way of thinking myself after all of these people I've met and put away, that all the bad that they've done. I liked to think that I was helping the galaxy, that I was putting away bad people, but the more and more time I spent in this position, I've just met people like Chulo, who seems to just be wanting to save his kids, but I don't know.
Do you ever think that maybe there is a bigger purpose to all this? That the struggles that people have, that the difficulties that they experience are just obstacles to overcome to become better people? Maybe you did help some people. Maybe you did. Maybe you did make a difference in their lives and your work turned them around. It's entirely possible.
Yes, but it's a big galaxy. The bounties just keep coming in. I don't know if I am actually making any sort of a difference. If there is a purpose out there, if the Force is driving everything, who's to say that we're having any impact on it? I don't know. I once believed that if I was earnest enough, I could change things, but now it just seems as if things will happen, and there's not much we can do to alter that current. Unless perhaps you can wield that current to slice up your enemies with lightsabers.
I have to believe that all of us, at least a little bit, can push that current, and the more of us that are working together, maybe we can push that current in a way that is better for all of us.
When this is all over and you successfully vanquish the Empire, as you so hope to do, will you go back to senatoring?
To be honest, I don't know that I'll make it that long.
Well,
And so it's my job to make sure that there is someone else ready to pick up the mantle and make a difference in my and all of our absences. We fight not for ourselves, we fight for our future.
well, best of luck to you, Sola.
And thank you for your service to the Alliance.
So, like, Azuto walks away, right? Kind of very pensive, trying to process all this, still on his journey to discover meeting or whatever. He's got in his hand like this little blinking device or whatever, and it's he left like a little like tracer on the wily outrider, and he can kind of track and see, now that they've gone off planet, he can see a little trajectory of it, like leaving the planet also, and he's just kind of holding it, like considering whether or not he will pursue them or let them go, and the value of friendship and how that balances with credits, and if Kron could one day be a future ally or just another meal ticket. So that's what's on his mind as I'm assuming we fade to credits.
Yeah, I
like
like
the
that.
producer Dick Wolf,
What? Darn that Dick Wolf. He's all up in everything. So are we good to call there? Is anybody... I know that there was a mention of a scene with Novar, but I think picking up there will be good. So we good in there? Everybody good?
Yes.
I could spend another hour talking about, the nature of whatever with Sola, but that's pretty good for me.
You said we had a decision
That
to
was
make.
great.
Yeah, you've got a decision to make, but we can work it into the fiction. Basically, it's where is the intent? So if you go to the galaxy map, we'll have a quick thing, and maybe we don't solve it here, but I do want you guys to kind of think on it. If you take a look at the galaxy map, which is on the galaxy tab of the character keeper, you'll see there's a blue line that runs from Raxus all the way towards Coruscant. You guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're at. Once you get closer to Coruscant, you're in the core worlds and deep core. And you've got two different ways to get to Naboo. You can either drop down on the Hydean Way, which runs through Balmora and Fraz, Nubia, past Aline and Malastar. And then you can hop off of that and head, if you think of this like a regular map, right, head in a southeastern direction towards Naboo. Or you can take the Corellian Way, which of course will go through Corellia, that's why it's named that, past Sicoria, Tullus Tralis, Fraz, Antar, Tenna, and then you'll head on a southwestern direction to hit to Naboo. So the red or the yellow is the choices. Those two choices... Oh, sorry.
The thing is, like, why does this choice matter? We have one more session left.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like, I don't know, I would totally be cool with like completely skipping the journey and being on Naboo to have the last session on the Naboo and seeing what's the why Sola needs to get back. Unless you really want to make a decision of, because I don't see any influence whether we will go yellow or red. How does this influence the story? I just don't know.
Fair. That's a fair point. We could definitely just pick up on Naboo. It feels weird that we set up this entire premise of a long trip and we stop at one place and then teleport forward, but
Roscoe is just cool.
I'm also fine, like... Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I'm also fine, like, not seeing Naboo potentially on the journey. I don't know how people feel about that, but the journey to me is the interesting part, and I think there's still a lot of story to develop. I mean, we could do epilogue stuff on Naboo. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm happy to play it whatever way makes sense.
I would say for my part, I'm loving the pace that we're taking. I'm really enjoying this sort of slower thing. I do recognize that this is a 4-session series as opposed to like a campaign. Like if this was our home group or whatever, I would love to just go planet, and this could be a whole campaign, and it would be a lot of fun. But I guess, what I would ask is that for Jedi Blackbird, for this really cool game that I think that other people should play, as far as play testing goes, what do you all want to see, as far as what would be more beneficial to you to experience, and then if you need to tweak or whatnot? Do you want to see the Naboo fruition? Just more hijinks? What do you think?
Before we answer that question, I want to hear from Mark on his thoughts and preference of, like, do we do more journey or do we jump to Naboo so we have the payoff of some of the story seeds that we've planted?
I feel like there's some drama lost from a big jump forward, and there's some drama gained by the big jump forward.
You're going to say that either way when the answer is that's where you're headed.
I'm personally enjoying the drama of right now more than the potential drama of Naboo, because I'm tied into the story arc that we're in. Like I want to see the next encounter with the padawan. I want to see what happens when we get really close to the galactic core and the bounty on 52 becomes even more available and pressing. So while they both seem equal in some ways, I'm more tied to where we currently are. So that's how I'm feeling.
Cool. Then I'd like to just forestall that ultimate decision, think about what you guys have talked about, and then we'll jump forward. I will say that at least the very last hour of next session, I'd like to have on Naboo, and it may trail into epilogues. But do we do the whole thing in Naboo or not? I want to stew on it for a little bit, and since I am an asshole GM, I'll just do that. So let's take a 2-minute bio break, just a real quick bio break. Come back for Roses and Thorns. We've got a few minutes left here. Okay, so we'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Yeah, I really wish this were a campaign. This needs to be like 10 sessions. Damn it.
Yeah, it feels like we're really hitting our stride now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh well.
Damn it. Stupid 4 session thing. Why'd I put it out for 4? I could just do Star Wars all day long. All right.
I mean, you do Star Wars every week, so
I do Star Wars every week. That's true. I'm seriously thinking July is going to be Jedi in the Vineyard. That's what I'm thinking.
Nice.
Yeah.
Will you do Old Republic?
I think I have to, because I can't convince myself that a bunch of Jedi are still running around in the middle of this. Like it's hard enough to watch the Star Wars Rebels series with 2 Jedi running around and a bunch of Sith running around, and it's all at the same time as the original movies, and I'm like, I'm still having fun. I'll just keep watching. Cool. Let's do Roses. Oh, I thought Paul was back. He's not back yet. That's cool. We'll do Roses and Thorns in a sec.
I'm back.
Oh, welcome back. Roses and Thorns. We will start with Thorns. Thorns are things could be improved upon, aspects that you didn't quite jive with you, anything in this particular session that you wish could have been different. Yeah, and remember, this is a craft, so I'm very open to any and all feedback. I appreciate it. We'll start with Pavel. Pavel, what thorns did you have from today's session?
I'm just writing this down to say. Okay. I think that I see a little flaw in the design of the system. I think that a little part is missing. The same like in Jedi Blackbird. If you give player a possibility to turn to the dark side, so to oppose Novar completely, or if you write a key that Zuto has to capture 52 as a key, then you need to include. So you are hinting very strongly at possible PvP. You have to include PvP solution, because Lady Blackbird doesn't have PvP on its own. The basic Lady Blackbird doesn't have it. Lady Blackbird does have dark side, and I played it, and then one of the players decided that to join the dark side for the drama purpose, and I had to ask, like, so how do I handle PvP in this system mechanics and everything? So it's up to the system that there is none, and if you are hinting at this, you should include some kind of solution how to handle PvP.
Can I chime in on that one?
Sure.
So there obviously is PvP in some of the other ones, like Magister Lore has it pretty strongly. The way that Rich and I had talked about incorporating PvP in this, if we have it, is to basically treat it the same way we treat it now, have to decide what the stakes are for each person, have the GM set a difficulty, and then roll. If one person wins, then it's obvious what happens. If both people fail their roll, or if both people tie, or both people succeed rather, then it's up to the GM to decide how to insert themselves into that situation. So I think we have some basic rules in there. It's a little bit different than Magister Lore, but yeah, there was at least a consideration for it. But thank you for bringing that up. It's a fair point.
Cool.
And it might be good to express that in the rules, or to kind of we because it's definitely not something in the half sheet from Lady Blackbird. It might be a thing where we can add that in, because we have a technique, but it isn't clearly communicated, so it feels like there isn't one, and that can be frustrating. So, Paulo, what else you got?
I'm not sure if the place where I drew the fiction was fun for everyone, because I could have very easily had this conversation, this refresh with Kona on the ship. But for me, it was very important to go into this temple, that we established that the temple is there. So I'm not sure if everyone had fun with me pushing us to go to this asteroid, landing there, spending some time rather than escaping. I'm not sure, but this was, I think it was really impactful. I'm not sure if this is a thorn. This is just like a big question mark for me.
Just so you know, yes. It was super cool. I'll save that rose for later, but cool. So you're not left hanging. Yes.
Cool. The last thing, I think we are not keeping up with the keys. And I'm not sure if the keys for all the characters are like fitting. I'm not sure. I would say that the key revision could be needed. Maybe it's the way we play those characters. Just like I think some key revision might be good.
Okay. Can you speak a little more about that?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I feel that kind of key of the imposter isn't really working for Sola. Maybe this is the way that that Jesse plays the character. I feel it's much more fitting for Lady Blackbird, where the character is hidden from the crew as well, and then the character can do big buy-off by like revealing his identity. Here is like really hard, like at least for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much Lady Blackbird over here. But like, how would this character buy off this key?
Yeah, I was literally thinking that same thing this morning before we started playing, which is why I was trying to hit at doing something that was a little more disguisey, more hiding in plain sight kind of a thing. Yeah, fair point.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like that we actually hit that. I saw 2 different XP triggers for that. But yeah, I hear you. It's key revision, not a bad suggestion. Although it's weird, right? Like you do a key on how you think people will play their character to offer that carrot, but if you choose not to do that thing, is it a flaw in the build? Is it a flaw in the situation? Or is it just a different interpretation of the character? It's definitely worth consideration. It's definitely a thing I'll be thinking.
I don't know if this applies or not, but when I first played the Shadow of Yesterday, where keys came from, I took a key that I thought was going to be really cool, and it rapidly turned out that, to me as a player, that it wasn't interesting. And one of the badass things about keys is you can change your character by buying it off, and you're rewarded for it by the system. So if your vision of the character doesn't involve that key, then take an action, get rid of it, and make the character to what you want it to be. And that's within the rules and rewarded. I don't know if I'm hitting what you're talking about, but
I know it.
The problem is just finding that buy off, what that looks like fictionally, right?
Yeah, and sometimes buy off is like really, really hardcore. Like for the initial key for Novar was like abandon being a Jedi like altogether. It was like a character completely changing buy off. So I don't know. Maybe the buy off should be a little bit less. I don't know, a little bit smaller, so that then you can really I'm not really into this. I will like change it. Whether regarding the session, no, I only have roses. That was just like me taking pick on the mechanics.
And that's what I want. I appreciate it. Thank you, Paulo. Michael, what thorns did you have, sir?
Oh gosh, I had a decent one a second ago. It totally slipped my mind. I don't really
circle back.
I don't really have. I'm trying to think of one because I know you like that actionable feedback, but I had a pretty good time. So circle back to me, and I'll think if there's anything that I think could be improved for next time.
All righty, thank you, Mark. What thorns did you have, sir?
I'm angry, and I don't know. Is that in the rules? I didn't get a chance to read it. I'm sorry about the phone that's right next to me here, but
you muted yourself during the phone. So is what in there?
The how do I clear my condition?
Oh, it's during a refresh scene. So anything where you do a refresh scene and you feel like it fictionally solves for that problem, then there you go.
Oh, okay. My bad. I just it tells you how to take the condition down. Maybe I just didn't read the refresh part. So, thorns. Well, I'm really sad that that 52 couldn't be here to play.
Yup, that was mine. You got mine.
The thorn that I've been sitting on, and I think it's actionable because we still got one session left. I have a secret about dueling, a one-on-one duel. I haven't had a chance to duel, so
Good one.
Just looking for that. If I had gotten, like, in last episode, if on the way back to the Blackbird, the Twi'leks and I had encountered someone like Phasma, and I told them to run off or whatever, like that could have been a duel.
Absolutely. That's a really good example. That's great. I appreciate that.
So those are my thorns.
Good work, Mark. Jesse, what thorns did you have?
In general, I thought the session was great. It was super fun. The only moment that felt a little weird was the pushing towards going to the asteroid, but it was totally, like, it was great and I loved it, but it felt a little like it was so, like, Pavel was pushing that really hard, and it was great, and I'm super glad we did it. But it was like, do we need to do this now? I felt a little questioning of it at first, but I totally appreciated that he did that.
What could I have done? Because Pavel gave me a heads up ahead of time. Hey, I want to explore the asteroid. And I tried to use the gravity well to say, well, you can't just jump to hyperspace. Like, that was my excuse to try to cue towards it. And I didn't really want to go to map combat kind of. So I wasn't sure. I was at a loss as a GM. How do I support that to make it a fictionally justified thing? Should I have had some kind of call from Sola and Koss to both of the Jedi to where they're both saying that? Like, what could I have done to help support that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, I think it's about, like, just unifying the overall direction of the crew, right? Having multiple reasons to go somewhere, I think, is always handy, you know, and I don't remember if it was the first or the second, but needing to go to this place because I think it was the last episode, actually. There was, like, the need to stop at Roche because we needed to refuel and we needed to deal with a bounty, and, you know, like, there were some opportunities. So that might be something, just thinking about, like, how do you weave at least one other person into the need to go to this place would be handy.
Cool. Okay. Thank you.
Anything I could have done better to, like, should I at the beginning of the session say, hey, as a player, I'm really interested into going for this asteroid. What could I have done as a player?
Yeah, I understood your desire to go there and the need to want to go there, but, like, fictionally, it felt like we needed to massage it a little bit. That was all. Like, I think it was the right move, and I'm super happy that we went there because it was an awesome scene and led to some good outcomes. But we'll get to Roses shortly.
All right, well, let's just move on to Roses then, Jesse. We do snake order, so you get to lead us off.
Real quick, my only thorn.
Oh, Michael's okay.
Not meant to criticize anybody, but I really love the relationship between Sola and 52. And it's just, like, too bad that both this session and last session we kind of missed that opportunity. You know, no criticism meant towards Matt or you, Jesse. It's just like, darn, I want those kisses. I do like Rich. I think. Oh, well, move to the Roses. Go back to Jesse. Only thorn there.
Okay, Jesse, Roses.
So there are lots, and I'm sure they will come up from other people, and if they don't, then I'll chime in with other ones afterwards. But just wanted to thank Michael again for pulling that scene at the end. Like, that was a really nice moment for me to have and to round out the character a little bit. So thanks for being giving and making that happen, Michael. That was awesome. I really appreciated it. Lots of other stuff, which I'm sure will be mentioned. But this was a really, really fun and enjoyable session. So.
Thank you, Jesse. Mark, what Roses did you have?
Sorry. Let's see. I was really glad that Sola got some time to shine. Both with the whole troops coming on board kind of thing, and a little bit of the fight sequence and stuff like that. Really missed your character last session, so I'm glad that I got to see some more of you. I still want a scene between the two of us, talking about the future of the Empire and the Alliance and all that. But I'm hoping we'll get to that next session. Michael, every scene with Zuto is a pleasure. You put a lot of thought into what you do and say, and whatever you get up to, I'm just sitting there waiting for it. It's awesome. Pavel, I admire your Novar, because no matter how passionate I get, you just stick to the way that the Jedi are. Like you just don't budge, and you give me a lot to play off of. So thank you for that. And I got to do what I always get to do, which is to be a kid with lightsabers. I think thank you to the dice for letting me screw up with Soon. What was her name? I'm sorry. With the red Twi'lek. Like there was some real drama there, and I'm having her be shot in the back by 52 was just like, it was in tone for the game, and just such a tragic scene. So I'm glad that happened that way.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad it did too.
So yeah, thank you for taking me to the temple, Pavel. That was great. And also thank you for giving me the angry condition, because that's very easy to play off of with a key of the dark side kind of thing. So because I think anger leads to something. I'm not sure what, but so those are my roses.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Michael, what roses did you have? You were itching to jump in with some roses. Now you can...
I always am, Rich, because I always have fun when you run. Yeah, everybody did. I think the particular thing I saw here, which Jesse alluded to, was just everyone playing together. Really great play here from people respecting each other as storytellers, being interested in everybody else's character. The thorn I had from last session, where I wanted to see a bit more of Novar, was like totally reversed here, which is great. Yeah, and I think we could have had a bit more meta discussion about like, how do we fit this in? But I think that everybody just knew that this was going to be a cool scene for Novar after that awesome vision he had. Like, Mark, you really brought it with Kona's discussion with Novar there, and I was really impressed, particularly with that little narrative twist of "and I was there" from Novar. Was super cool. And then Rich, you just like followed up with, okay, then here's your apprentice coming onto the asteroid, and I was like, yes, this is what I come to the Gauntlet for. This sort of like just teamwork and meshing together, and everybody being considerate of each other, and it was really awesome. And that scene with Sola at the end was also a great way to tie that ribbon up. And I really enjoy just like being in this Zuto headspace of like, oh, what do I want him to do? And like, he wants to this and that. And so thank you for obliging me with that. And I enjoy that, Rich. And that's why I enjoy this character, is because the rest of the week I'll be, stewing on that. And that's what I love about a game, is when it kind of travels with me until next session. So I could play this game forever. So Thanks, Rich. Great job, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Pavel, finish us up with the roses from your guys' side.
Amazing scene with Kona in the temple. Mark, thank you for being such a difficult padawan. It makes it so much. I had to like think, what would Jedi say to this like very angry padawan that clearly doesn't get it? What can I say? It's like really pure gold scene. Amazing. Yeah, we had finally some Jedi big reveal, some fighting. It was like really cool. Just drive by, jump off, start hacking and slashing. Yeah, some good Star Wars action over there. I really enjoyed seeing Michael and the bounty hunter. Like, how is he going to get this two into cuffs, and how he's going to deliver them? He's on their ship. Like, how this will play out? Oh, they are back here. I wish he could have like captured them or see how this will go. Yeah, and Richard's very cool fails. It really felt like the fails led to some, failed rolls. Cool handling this. This really led to something else. And yeah, it's really good to see some failed rolls on a table in Blackbird game to see where do they lead. Yeah, I really enjoyed this time.
Yeah, failed rolls are a tough one because you have so much pool. So I was setting like fours is difficulties. I always get like, I want to save those a little bit. There was a thing Ryan Macklin did one time where he talked about running Don't Rest Your Head. And the way that he sometimes will run it at a con is he will set the pain difficulties to just start ramping up. Like, oh, we're really early in the session. Nothing is going to be more than a pain 2, but I might hit you with several of them to try to start amping up your different pools. And I always found that as an interesting way to structure Lady Blackbird as well. Like, hey, we're super early on. Do you really want a difficulty of an obstacle of 4? But we were 3 sessions in. Damn it, there needs to be some tough stuff. So I was able to justify that. And it led to really cool failure. There are times where I'm like, I really, really, really want them to fail. Like, and I'll set 2 difficulties of like, this is the thing you want, but this is the thing like you're going to really spend to take away my narrative ability to impose a condition or to change the scenario. Like, you really, really want to say everything that happens, you're going to have to spend the hell out of pool so that then at least my nugget is I get a refresh scene out of you. So like I win either way. So I'm glad that worked. I have to say, Pavel, like when you whipped out your lightsaber, I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, oh, it's just this totally that moment that little kid Rich, when he had his own lightsaber, that moment of joy of like, no, I'm holding a lightsaber, just shut up. It's like, I see it even in my son now when we were at Disney World a few month ago, like in March, and he just walks over in the store, like he walks over to the lightsaber and picks it up like lightsaber. I'm like, no, we're not going to spend $80 on another lightsaber, dude. You have some. So that was good. I really liked Sola, the person who's like, I'm going to rail on you with business talk. It was so great. It was great imposturing. And you guys have already talked about it, but just as I have to echo the scene between Kona and Novar was just juicy, and big props to you, Pavel, for like, I'm going to stick to the way that the Jedi would answer it. Like, it felt legit. Like, this is original trilogy Jedi approach to things. And Mark, you were like contained. There was a level of anger, but respect. Like, I felt the struggle that Kona had. It wasn't just, I'm going to spout whatever ideology. It was just, I really feel this way, but I understand and respect you enough to talk to you about it rather than just going off and doing my thing. And that was fascinating. It was really, really good.
I did want you to fight, though.
Yeah, I mean, you've got this like, where you would have got some stuff, but hey, that's fine. You got a secret on it. Anyway. No, Michael, I really like seeing the tilt, like seeing the struggle, the conversation with others about, is Zudo going to turn over 52 or not? I thought that was really interesting. I appreciate the clever wordplay of, it will taste like your last meal. Like, as a person who like puns, I also like clever wordplay. Surprise, surprise. And that was just chewy. It's so good. Like, I'm just gonna enjoy this. It's very flavorful. I could just like that was so good. So good. So all in all, this was a really enjoyable session. Like you guys said, we hit our stride. I wish there were more sessions. We're going to squeeze it all in and do our best as great storytellers who respect and expect a great deal out of each other to finish off well. But this has been as fun as I'd hoped, and exceeded it in a lot of ways. So thank you all so much for today's session, and we will finish it off in a week. See you guys later.
Have a nice week.